you, they're going after me, and they're going after all of us who have stood proud with this great president and continue to do so. They just don't get it. And there's going to be a lot of dirty tricks and a lot of dirty dealings going on. Now, before I get into some of the main topics, though, I want to say something before I forget. I talked about this on my podcast last night, which you all should be listening to, the Brian Craig Show podcast. The Brian Craig Show podcast was named the #3 must-listen-to conservative podcast. There's a lot of conservative podcasts, right? #1 was Mark Levin's podcast, which is a rebroadcast of his radio show. #2 was Glenn Beck's Blaze. And #3, the Brian Craig Show podcast. Do not miss my podcast that I co-host with my wife, Kathy. I think we have over 1,200 episodes of the podcast now. A lot, right? Indeed we do. And last night, as always, was a good one. But one thing I mentioned, there's a plan going on that it just popped in my head yesterday. I realized what was going on, and I've seen it on this program happening with the seminar callers, the Never Trumper seminar callers calling in, and that we've been just overwhelmed by them. That snake, Jonah Goldberg, and a buddy of his left Fox News, and Jonah Goldberg said yesterday in the press that there's a lot of people on Fox News that hate Trump. They're just in a closet about it. Really? Who was that? I know there's a handful of people like Martha McCallum, who was a Never Trumper. But who are the closeted Never Trumpers? We know about Cavuto. We know about Martha McCallum. Who are the other Never Trumpers? And what they're trying to do, there's a coordinated effort that is very, very clever going on right now by the Never Trumpers. And there are a lot of Republicans. Some of them have been Republicans their entire life. And what they're doing is telling you that they're conservatives, they voted for Trump, but they don't want him to run again. And they're trying to create a mass dialogue going on, a mass narrative that that's the mainstream Republican voters' wishes. And nothing could be further from the truth. And they have a devious plan, which I'm going to tell you about in just a moment with that and what their plan is. But let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I've talked about this before, but not for a long time. And some of you that are new to the program may not have heard me talk about this. But when Bill Clinton was president, one of the biggest issues in talk radio was gun control. Columbine happened when Bill Clinton was president towards the end of his presidency, but gun control was, they had the Million Mom March, remember all that? Gun control was one of the biggest debated topics nationally in this country during the Clinton years. And we used to do shows weekly, sometimes more than once a week, with gun control whack jobs on the program. We used to do these shows all the time. And then George W. Bush became president, and we didn't have to worry about them taking our guns because we had a pro-Second Amendment president. He had a lot of other problems, George W. Bush, but he was strong on the Second Amendment. So we didn't do a show for 8 years on gun control. And then Obama became president, and gun control started again. He started talking about it, and it became an issue. And Steve said, we haven't done a gun control show in a while. Obama's going for the guns. Let's bring on one of those whack job nutcases from the gun control people. So I dusted off my old gun control contact phone numbers. I actually had a book back then. I had a book that had phone numbers in it, like an address book kind of thing, that I kept things in now as opposed to doing everything on my phone. And I called up. There was a handful of groups. There was the Brady campaign, the Center to Prevent Handgun Violence, the Million Mom March, and there was another one. I can't remember the name of the other one, but those were the big ones. Center to Prevent Handgun Violence, Million Mom March, the Brady campaign, and there was another one I can't remember the name of offhand, but it's been many years. We're talking about 2008, 2009, and it's almost 22, right? Wow, getting old. And I called the first one. Can't remember which order it was in, but it doesn't matter. I called the first one, Center to Prevent Handgun Violence, talked to this guy, and said, hey, I'm Brian Craig, I want to do da-da-da. and he took my information down. Didn't book the interview, but said he'd get back to me. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay. So I called the second one on the list. The same guy answered the phone. And I said, hey, I just talked to you. He's like, oh, yeah. I thought maybe I dialed wrong, but I didn't. Then I called the Million Mom March, which was, of course, what did we hear? Just a group of moms concerned about guns. I called the third one, the Million Mom March. The same guy answered the phone that answered it for the Brady campaign and the Center to Prevent Handgun Violence. And when he answered the phone that time, I said, you're answering all the phones for all the gun control organizations? And he says, well, they forwarded their phone numbers here. And then I realized what was going on here. There were not 3 or 4 gun control groups. There weren't. It was a sham. It was a fraud. It was all one, and it was called the Democrat National Committee, the DNC, the Democrat Party. And the reason that they did this, and this is relevant to what's going on today with President Trump, which I'll tell you in a moment. The reason I know it's crazy, isn't it? The reason they did this, okay, is because all these groups are fronts. They were all fronts for the same people. They wanted to create a narrative nationally that there were all these activist gun control groups talking about common sense gun control legislation. They had this group, that group, all these different groups just sprung out of nowhere to discuss safety, gun safety. You know the rhetoric. I don't need to go through the whole story. They were trying to create a narrative. It was a false narrative that all these people in the country, Million Mile March and all the rest, were so concerned about gun violence in America that all of these different people are activists, grassroots activists, form these groups. It was all a lie. It was all a lie. There was one group, the Democrats. Gun control was never, the Second Amendment was never really in danger. These gun control groups were all frauds. There was never a movement, I learned this right then and there, so much about politics and what goes on. Okay? There was never a movement against guns in this country. It was a lie put out by the Democrats with all these fake front groups to get a narrative out there and a debate going to rally people to the polls. Well, that's what the Never-Trumpers are doing right now to the greatest president we've ever had, President Donald Trump. Jonah Goldberg, and there's a list of others, and they're calling us on the radio and all this stuff. They're all conservatives, they're all MAGA, but they don't want Trump this time. It's a false narrative like this gun control BS I'm telling you about. It's pretty disgusting, isn't it? Yeah. So they have a plan here. And this is their plan, and I will invite your comments on this. I talked about this on my podcast last night. It just popped in my head as I was doing the podcast with my wife last night, and I mentioned this in passing, but I would like to hear your thoughts on my theory as to what the Never-Trumpers and the Republican establishment are doing in coordination with the Democrats. Joe Biden is a complete failure. He's a complete failure. Everything, Barack Obama said it. Every decision Joe makes is wrong. President Trump handed Joe Biden a perfect country and a perfect situation in every aspect of America. Economy, gas, even the war in Afghanistan, everything. Everything gone. He was handed a perfect country and he's wrecked it in less than a year. And it's getting worse every day. He's unelectable. He's unelectable. That's why they're talking about him not running. So who's next? Willie Brown's girlfriend. Yes, that's right. Kamala. Kamala Harris is next. Nobody likes Kamala Harris. Even Democrats hate her. That's why she dropped out of the primary. Remember, when Kamala dropped out of the primary, it's not unusual for a primary opponent to become vice president. Bush won. H.W. ran against President Reagan. In fact, that idiot, corrupt Bush 41, is who came up with that term voodoo economics, came from George H.W. Bush, I believe, during the New Hampshire primaries against Governor Reagan. Voodoo economics. Now, liberals use that phrase. George H.W. Bush coined that. That was his campaign. It's not unusual, but the difference is this. Kamala dropped out of the primary race, and she only had 1% of support among Democrats. 1%. She's not electable, she's incompetent, and no one likes her, not even Democrats. The Democrats have no bench warmers. Cuomo's a disgrace. Skinny Pants Newsom, he's an idiot. They have no one. No one. They understand the Democrats. They cannot win. And they see the popularity with Trump. Look at these events with President Trump and Bill O'Reilly. And that's just the warm-up to the midterm Trump rallies we're going to get as he's campaigning around America to drain the swamp of these rhino rats, Republicans against Trump. I wish President Trump would pick up on that. Rats, Republicans against Trump. I love it. Yeah. So here is their plan, and it's a very devious one. The never-Trumper Republican establishment snakes, reaching across the aisle to the low-life Democrats, have concocted a plan, and this is the plan. And then I'll tell you the plan, then I'll break. I'd like to hear your thoughts on my plan. Is it wackadoodle, or is it right on the money? Scary. This is scary stuff, these people. The Republican establishment and the Democrats know the Democrats have no viable chance of beating Trump in 2024. They know it's going to be a landslide victory. So what they're doing is getting all of these never-Trumpers out there telling us, pretending to be MAGA, telling us they want DeSantis, they want Noam, they want someone. And what their plan is this. They know the Democrats can't win. They want to stop Trump. So what the never-Trumper Republican establishment is doing with the Democrats is trying to convince us that MAGA has given up on Trump, push on us a phony Mitt Romney-like candidate. And I don't mean Mitt Romney. He's not going to run. He's been exposed. But a never-Trumper, corrupt rat, Republican against Trump, a fake Republican that'll work with the Dems to pass all their crap. And they're going to start pushing someone. And it might be Ron DeSantis. I love DeSantis. Trump loves DeSantis. You love DeSantis. But they might use DeSantis to try to get MAGA to dump Trump for DeSantis. It ain't going to happen. I'm wearing a Trump shirt right now. I'll never stop supporting this man. But that's what their plan is. The Democrats and the Republican never-Trumpers working together to try to force upon us, convince us that Republican MAGA voters don't want Trump, they want someone else, and get some Republican up there that'll work with the Dems and pass all their crap. That's what they're doing here. And I think I'm the first person to speak out on this. I want to hear your thoughts on my theory. This just popped in my head as I was doing my podcast with my wife last night, the Brian Craig Show podcast, the number 3 must-listen-to conservative podcast in America. Our number's toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back after this. Do not go anywhere. That's exactly what these lowlives are doing. This is my Space Force shirt. See it? Space Force, make space great again. It's kind of a take on the Star Trek Next Generation logo. What got me thinking were all these fake MAGA that have been calling me this week. And then I'm seeing what's going on with the never-Trumpers like Jonah Goldberg all over the news again. And that got me thinking. And that is exactly what they're doing. Now, listen, you guys, call me on the air. I can't, because of our... we have over 100,000 people that listen to us on the radio. I can't talk to the chat on the air. You guys in the chat room, call me on the air. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're at, especially if you've never called before.
The COVID, you know what I mean? Instead of dealing with all the wonder.
And they give you a piece of paper. And yesterday, I actually walked around with it. When people heard, you don't sound so good.
No, but that's their plan.
tests now of Boca and Coral Springs. They're good people, and we're very lucky to have them.
They're very caring and full of information.
First, we had a doctor.
Oh, and if you don't agree with me, you're certainly welcome to call.
We have a rabbi. Rabbi recommended.
And if you agree with me, you're welcome to call.
Any lab test now of Coral Springs for your COVID testing. Yeah, that's great. Rabbi recommended. Any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Rabbi recommended by Rabbi David for COVID testing. Rapid coronavirus testing, just $69. But you have to mention you heard them on the radio. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast.
Wesley, $5 super chat. Thank you, Wesley. Good morning, Brian. I think you're right on the money. And this is the next phase of the ongoing coup against Trump. Yeah. And it's a very devious plot, isn't it?
Number 561-237-5009. Make sure you mention you heard them on the radio. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All righty. 25 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. I'm looking forward to the weekend. By the way, any lab tests now of Boca and in Coral Springs are open on Saturdays. My daughter's actually doing some traveling today and had to go and get a COVID test. That's where you go. My place is any lab test now of Boca. It's in my neighborhood. Steve usually goes to any lab test now of Coral Springs. There are lots of any lab test nows around. By the way, they don't just do COVID testing. They do all those lab tests. I get all my lab work done there. There's lots of any lab test nows. Those are the only two advertising on the Steve Kane Show. So don't use the others. Use those two, all right? Okay, 1-888-GO-KANE-1 is our number. Vanessa, $10 super sticker. Thank you. And thank Vanessa. I'm going to go to the phones. I'd like to hear what you all think of my theory. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
This is Mike.
Oh, hey, Mike.
You know,
I was hoping for someone new.
Your theory holds water. You know, and here's something else to kind of add to your theory. Why hasn't Liz Cheney? We know she's a Democrat. Why hasn't she, one, been kicked out of the National Party, and two, has not?
Well, I don't know about two, but number one, first of all, she is not. No, she is a Republican. She's Republican establishment. She's conservative on everything except her hatred of President Trump, so far as I know. And she's part of the establishment working for her father and G.W. Bush and these snake rats, Republicans against Trump, to try to... See, they got two scams going. The one I just talked about, and then they got this other scam that they're going to try to get some Democrat or Bush-appointed federal judge to bring an indictment against Trump, and they'll tell themselves he can't run, and they'll try to keep him on the ballot in many states. Elizabeth, $25 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank Elizabeth. She says, I agree, Brian. Well, thank you. Everyone thank Elizabeth,
I've heard rumors
Wesley,
about her
and
wanting
Vanessa
to be president
for their support.
and Liz Cheney.
That's what Tucker said. She's been up in New Hampshire. I don't know what she's drinking.
Well, I don't know what she's drinking.
She must have gotten in George W. Bush's old liquor cabinet.
Yeah, really. And that's the thing. I just don't get it. I just don't understand.
Because all of them, how do they all get rich? Dick Cheney and all these people. How are they wealthy? All of them.
War. They like war, and they make their money.
They like war. They like money. They like money, and they make their money by being corrupt public officials. You get elected or appointed to a Secretary of Defense spot, you become president, you're in the House, you're in the Senate, you're Secretary of this, that, or the other thing. You give them a lot of favors. And then while you're doing that, everybody in your family gets these phony boards of directors jobs like Hunter. When you leave office, all of a sudden you're on a board, you're on this board, you're on that board with huge salaries, fake jobs. That's how they make their money by controlling the government. And Donald Trump upset that because the donors don't own Donald Trump. He is only responsible to those of us who support and vote for him. Hey, Mike, take care. Thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
My name is Hank.
Hank, where are you calling from, Hank?
Fort Lauderdale.
Hank in Fort Lauderdale. What's up?
Hey, I just wanted to call in. I got your number this morning here. Often listener. What they're doing with all these illegal immigrants coming across the border.
Well, here's the deal with the immigrants, okay? This is why they're bringing in so many there's two reasons they're bringing in so many illegals. Two major reasons. None of which are the ones you're about to tell me, okay? There's two.
They're documenting them and getting their names and signatures so they...
No, that's not why they're doing it. That's not why they're doing it. No, there's a long-term plan here. The reason that they have the southern border completely open is two reasons. One, to change, there's a mass exodus going on from Democrat states, California and New York. People are en masse moving to Florida and Texas for freedom and economic prosperity and, of course, our great Florida weather. And Florida is expected to become, in a couple of years, the most populated state. I think we're number 2 now. Part of what what that means is, after the next census or two, California and New York are going to lose a lot of power in representation in the House of Representatives. And the way the Electoral College works, a state has as many electors to the Electoral College as they do representation in the House of Representatives. So they're using the illegals at the southern border to keep the populations in place in California, New York, and other blue states, so they keep their electoral votes and they keep their congressional representation. The other thing they're trying to do is, the Democrats have a long-term plan here. They're trying to make the country less white. The Democrats believe what is stopping them from permanent control is that there's too many white people. So they're trying to make the country more brown. And they think that'll be what's going on. But those are the two long-term goals they're doing there. Okay. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. I looked at the clock. I'm really late. I got a break for the bottom. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Now, I've been telling you for a long time how the MyPillow mattress toppers changed my life. For the first time since I got that MyPillow mattress topper in April, I have the 3-inch mattress topper, which when you go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, using the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, you can get that 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper for 50% off. It makes a great gift for yourself and, of course, a great Christmas gift. And since I've been sleeping on the MyPillow mattress topper, it's been a life changer. I sleep the whole night through. For the first time in my adult life, I woke up when my alarm woke me up, not before. It's absolutely amazing. And I talked about, and my wife has talked about, how it did away with her back pain. That's why we ordered the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. Well, yesterday, Andrea called in, and I did not know this about Andrea. She had some major injuries, was unable to sleep. And for the first time in years and years and years, she's able to sleep the night through and get a well-rested night's sleep. She called in on the air yesterday and shared her experience with the MyPillow mattress topper. Here's that call.
You actually have the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper, which is...
Be right back, guys. I got to get a drink of water.
Promo code KANE at checkout. And you were telling me about your situation and how the MyPillow mattress topper changed your life. Can you tell me about that?
Let me tell you, Brian, I'm literally shocked. I'm normally very skeptical when I buy things. So I have 6 MyPillows, and then I bought the mattress topper. So about 5 years ago, I was involved in an accident at the gym where I was doing a pull-up, and somebody actually jumped on me, which tore both my rotator cuffs, and on my right shoulder, it severed my bicep, part of my tricep, most of the deltoid, and there's a fine skin that goes all the way around your elbow joint, pretty much all of that. So my right shoulder is loaded with pins and screws, and so is my right elbow. And I can't really sleep laying down. So it's hard for me to sleep. I never get deep sleep. When I got the mattress topper, it has been the first time in probably 5 years. The first night I got it, I actually slept so well. I slept through boot camp and 2 clients. It's so supportive and so comfortable, and it eases the pain that I'm actually sleeping longer deep sleep durations, which is imperative for, your health.
Oh, yeah.
You're supposed to get
That's amazing.
down into the...
That's amazing, Andrea. That really is. Now, listen, if you go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, you can get the very same mattress topper that I sleep on, the one that Andrea is talking about. It's the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, the thickest mattress topper that Mike Lindell and MyPillow offer for 50% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. You can also order by phone, 800-716-4879, 800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Yeah, that's amazing, and I'm glad we can help you out with that, and I'm sure it's been a big change in your life.
It's shocking. It's literally shocking. It's the best thing I have ever bought, truly.
Wow.
Elizabeth.
Hey, Andrea, thanks for that.
Did everybody take
Appreciate
Elizabeth for that $25 super
Have
chat?
a good day, Brian.
All right, take care. Wow, that's amazing. You hear that? First night's sleep she's gotten in 5 years with the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper. 50% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And again, you can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. Comes in every mattress size there is, and it comes in a box that's perfect to wrap and put under the tree. You can also send it
Depends
to
on the size,
recipient
Robert.
of the gift.
Everybody has
You're
different
sending it
size
out for a
bed.
Christmas gift. But as you can hear with Andrea, it makes a great gift for yourself as well. Wow, that's an amazing story.
The Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry
Depends on the
Siegel at
size, and it's
Siegel
50%
Law.
off whatever
Are you
they're selling it
concerned
for
with the
that size
distribution
right
of
now.
your assets at the
With
time
our
of your
promo code
passing?
KANE.
Avoid probate.
Better deal than
Call
I
the
got
Siegel Law Group
on
with
mine.
9 offices throughout
And that's
South
the lowest
Florida,
price they're
from
ever going to
Palm Beach
offer
Gardens to Coral Gables.
those mattress
Call
toppers for
toll-free
it.
1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All righty, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Thankfully, it is Friday already. Oh, man. Thankfully, it's Friday. So, I would like to hear more of your thoughts on my theory as to this devious plot that is going on with the Democrats and the Republican Never Trumper rats, Republicans against Trump at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And also on Friday, I don't call it Open Phone Friday because that's Rush Limbaugh's thing. And unlike these no talents that they say have replaced Rush and begin the show with his music, I'm not stealing from Rush Limbaugh like Clay Aiken and Buck Sexton. But I do call it Open Phone Light because it is not totally open phones. It is open phones so long as it is relevant to the news cycle that we're in right now. I wouldn't say Open Phone Friday under any circumstances because I don't want to steal something from Rush. But Open Phone Light is how I like to keep Fridays. You can talk about anything and everything that is relevant to the current news cycle at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. All right, now I want to talk about something I picked up from NewsMax TV. Stitchfield, who is on against Tucker Carlson on NewsMax. Fox News is in a panic over NewsMax TV, and they should be. I'll tell you, well, you know what I'd love for Christmas next year? What I'd love for Christmas is NewsMax TV to be #1. I did catch, yesterday they ran it in the middle of the day, and I caught it quite by accident on NewsMax. It's going to be on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, the Mike Huckabee Christmas special on NewsMax TV with President Trump. It's very, very good. I missed the first 15 minutes of it, caught the last 3/4 of it, and it is very, very good, and Sunday hopefully I'll catch the whole thing. But NewsMax has Fox News in a panic. That's why they got rid of Chris Wallace. They got rid of Chris Wallace because of Chris Wallace. Fox News is now the #4 rated cable network. Fox is 1, CNN is 2, MSNBC is 3, and that means NewsMax is #4, even beating out Fox Business. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, and I'd love them to be #1 this time next year. I don't know if it's possible because they're not on every cable system like Fox News is, but they're on most of them. Now, Stitchfield, who is very, very good, he comes on after Greg Kelly on NewsMax TV. He's opposite Tucker. I'm going to play you a clip of Stitchfield's show last night on NewsMax talking about Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson has been defending Putin a little bit with the Ukraine mess. And Stitchfield believes that Tucker Carlson is under duress. So let me play this. This is Stitchfield from NewsMax TV last night talking about Tucker Carlson.
All right, look, folks. Fox News has lurched to the left, maddening for nearly every conservative, including myself. And I wonder now if the leftist leaders of this Trojan horse of a so-called conservative network has compromised Tucker Carlson. Now, Tucker...
Now, what do you guys think about that, by the way? Do you... Stitchfield, I agree with him that Fox News has gone liberal, and Fox News is a Trojan horse in many, many ways. What do you guys think about that? Let's go through the whole thing. I got to start it over.
All right, look, folks. Fox News' lurch to the left is maddening for nearly every conservative, including myself. And I wonder now if the leftist leaders of this Trojan horse of a so-called conservative network has compromised Tucker Carlson. Now, Tucker is a man that I have absolute great respect for. The fact is, Tucker and I agree on most issues, which is why I'm baffled by his defense of Russia's Vladimir Putin. Unless, of course, is Tucker operating under duress? Why else would he proclaim something like this about NATO and Vladimir Putin?
So at this point, NATO exists primarily to torment Vladimir Putin, who, whatever his many faults, has no intention of invading Western Europe. Vladimir Putin does not want Belgium. He just wants to keep his western borders secure. That's why he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO. And that makes sense.
Right, that makes sense. Well, Tucker's right. That for Vladimir Putin's perspective, it does make sense. But who cares what Vladimir Putin thinks? This is a rogue dictator that hates America. He is dangerous, and he wants nothing more than to expand his global reach. And the Ukraine is next. Our NATO allies want to stop that, but Joe Biden's weak. Putin knows Biden is weak. It's why he's ready to pounce. Tucker actually spells out why we need to protect Ukraine, but in a bizarre and confusing fashion, he actually defends and even lobbies for leaving Putin's military prowess intact. Listen to this.
A NATO takeover of Ukraine would compromise Russia's access to its Sebastopol naval base. That's the site of the Russian Black Sea Fleet and one of the country's only connections to international waters.
Well, Tucker acknowledges that would be disastrous for Russia. But he goes on to falsely claim that America gets, quote, no benefit from this. That's not true. A weakened Russia, think about this, with no bloodshed, no missiles launched, resulting in its navy being cut off from international waters. To me, that makes for a safer world, which then means a safer America. I know Tucker knows this, at least I would hope so, which is why I think maybe his liberal bosses may have gotten to him.
Okay, now that's Stitchfield over on the great NewsMax TV. He's opposite Tucker, and it's unfortunate because he's so good. He's one of the best on NewsMax, and he's up against Tucker Carlson, who has the highest rated show in the history of cable news, even surpassing the ratings of Larry King, who had no competition, Larry King. He is saying that, Stitchfield is saying that he believes Tucker Carlson is under duress by his liberal bosses, which would include, Paul Ryan and all this. I'm going to agree with that, and I'll tell you, I like Tucker Carlson, and he does incredible reporting on that program. He has truly made Sean Hannity's show boring, hasn't he? I mean, is Sean Hannity's show more vanilla now when you compare it to Tucker Carlson? I'm not saying that Hannity's show is bad. It's not my cup of tea. I don't watch it very often. But the show isn't as good as it was before Tucker because Tucker is so great. Here's what's going on. He is under duress. His special, Patriot Purge, was absolutely just amazing. I got the Fox Nation app because of it. Okay? And he has a new documentary coming out on Kyle Rittenhouse, which I'm going to watch as well. And so this is what Tucker Carlson's doing. Yes, Stitchfield at NewsMax is right. Tucker is under duress. What he is doing is compromising Tucker Carlson. He's doing incredible reporting on the Capitol breach and everything connected with it, and some other things too, but in particularly that, as of late. To do that, to do what he's doing on the Capitol breach, he talks about Ray Epps. He did that special, which will blow your mind. That special, Patriot Purge, is the beginning of that House of Cards collapsing of what the January 6th committee is all about. It's amazing what he's doing. To do that type of work, he has to do what he's doing with Putin and Russia and Ukraine for those that run the network. Okay? He doesn't own Fox News. I don't even believe he owns his show. He works for them. He's an employee. So he doesn't have 100% freedom to do whatever it is that he wants to do. So he does what you have to do in business. You compromise. And that compromise is also a form of duress. So Stitchfield on NewsMax TV is right. He is under duress. He is making compromises so that he can get the big stories out there that no one else is reporting, like he did in Patriot Purge, which it is worth getting Fox Nation just for the 1 month to watch Patriot Purge. I think, was it 3 parts? It wasn't long enough. It was either 3 or 4 parts. And I've only watched it once. I can't watch it again. Okay? And the reason I can't watch it again is because it's too upsetting to watch again. Especially part 2. But no, Stitchfield is right. I agree with him. Tucker Carlson is under duress, but he's still able to get the big stories and the important stories out if he compromises with these never-Trumper liberals running Fox News on some of these other stories. And, you know, big companies like this have all kinds of financial interest outside of their news operations that they don't want to upset people. I mean, look at Disney pulling that episode of The Simpsons about Tiananmen Square off. They had to do it to be in the Chinese market. It's a compromise they made to have access to over 1 billion screaming Chinamen. That's what they used to say, right? Don't say, I haven't heard that in a long time, but that's a compromise that Disney made to have their app available to the population of China. With that Simpsons episode, that's what Tucker's doing. Now, you know, a lot of people say, well, you shouldn't compromise. Well, sometimes you have to. If you don't compromise, you're not getting anything out there. So it's a fine line, but I think Tucker's doing all right. I think he's doing better than anyone else on television, don't you guys? With a major audience, I'm pretty impressed by him. All right, I'm going to take our last break of the first hour, come back with more of your calls. I'm Brian, it's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Stay tuned, back after this.
This is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
Steve Kane just had GoPro over at his house to trim his trees. On the line, we have Nathan. He's the owner of GoPro. He's going to tell you what he did over at Steve's house and why you should call him to help you with all of your landscaping needs. Nathan?
So the biggest thing we did over at Steve's house, his trees were all overgrown. You couldn't even see the house, the yard. The grass was starting to die because there was so much shade from the trees being overgrown for such a long time. So we came in, we looked at the trees, did an assessment, pruned them structurally so that way the trees are balanced and even to make sure that there was no possibility of them coming down in the storms. We did 2 roller points on the trees, one in the front yard and one in the backyard. Also, one of the roller points poncianas in the front yard was actually choking out one of the oak trees. So now by trimming them back, the oak tree can come back to life and provide a nice healthy tree for Steve. The reason why you should hire the professionals here at GoPro over the guy with just the truck who's mowing the grass next door is our guys are trained in the different types of trees and identifying how to properly prune the tree so it's structurally healthy, not to over trim them. The thing that we do over the competition is we make sure we do it right. Make the proper cuts on the tree, trim the tree properly so that way the tree can come back healthy. We service anything from residential, single-family home all the way up to large HOAs, commercial buildings, whatever the customer has a need for, we can service.
Give Nathan at GoPro a call right now. He'll give you a free estimate. 954-680-7739. 954-680-7739. Make sure you tell him you heard him on the radio. 954-680-7739.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeart Radio. Just search for
Who is the celebrity chef? What's her name? Paula Deen. Okay, Paula Deen. Just trying to remember during the break because there's a story here that she is relevant to. A judge in Louisiana. Now, listen. I want you to listen to this story, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. Okay. A Louisiana judge who was caught on video repeatedly calling a black burglary suspect the N-word will take a period of unpaid leave, her lawyer says. 52-year-old judge and mother of four, Michelle O'Dennett, made the racist comments as she and her family watched surveillance footage of the suspect trying to break into her home. The short clip featured one of her children saying, and mom yelling the N-word, to which the Republican judge responds, "We have an N-word breaking into their home." Her lawyer announced Thursday said that she's humiliated, she's embarrassed, and sorry for what she has done and the trouble she's caused to the community. Tomorrow, she's going on interim leave without pay, and as far as what will happen in the longer term, she'll have to deal with that in the weeks to come. She's either going to resign or whatever process they have in Louisiana will be used against her, and they'll take her off the bench if she doesn't resign, if they have such a process in Louisiana. Paula Deen, who is back on the Fox Nation app, by the way. Paula Deen, she has a show on the Fox Nation app. I've seen a little bit of one episode. I was always a fan of Paula Deen. She was very big, remember, on the Food Network, Paula Deen, and what she was big about, what ended her career, is a story came out about her using the N-word. Remember this? And I don't use the word, okay? I'm not supporting the use of the word either. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. What happened with Paula Deen was very, very strange, okay? Paula Deen was... Paula Deen was being sued. She was under oath. And she was asked if she ever used the N-word. And she said yes. She was under oath. And she was asked to tell the story. And the story she told was before she was rich, before she was famous, she was a bank teller. And this was a really shocking story, this whole thing. A lot of people have forgotten about this. But she was a bank teller, Paula Deen. And she was robbed at gunpoint by a African-American bank robber. He had a gun, and he put the gun to her head. Put the gun to Paula Deen's head. Pretty crazy, isn't it? Sure is. Crazy to me. She was being interviewed by police. This was at the time right after the bank robbery. And she was talking about this man that had put a gun to her head as he robbed her, which means he was going to kill her. and she used the N-word in describing the man who put the gun to her head. That was like 30 years before this incident happened. And yeah, I know it's insane. But these are liberals, and this is how they operate. It was 30 or more years before she was under oath. And I don't use the word, and I don't support using it, but the entire nation was calling for the termination of Paula Deen because she used the N-word describing a man who put a gun to her head and was threatening to murder her. I'm not saying there's ever an appropriate time to use the N-word. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but nobody was concerned about the guy that put the gun to her head. And we've gotten to this point. We've gotten to this point where the left are defending bank robbers, people threatening to murder people with guns to their temples, and home invaders. And while I don't associate with people that use language like that, and I know you probably don't either, when people are scared, when people are frightened, when people feel their life is in danger and are violated, they say things. Have you ever gotten into a fight with your spouse? Have you ever said anything you regret that's out of character for you? Probably. I have. I'm sure it'll happen again. And if someone uses the N-word when somebody has a gun to their head, or they're invading their home where they live with their 4 children, I would put the context of the situation under consideration before I destroyed someone's life. Okay? We're not talking about people randomly using things. But now the reason I bring this up, I wasn't going to do this, but I am going to do this now because I saw this story of the judge. I wasn't going to talk about this on the show today. But Joy Reid was going after Elon Musk. The great Elon Musk. I love Elon Musk. Thanks to Elon Musk, America now has a manned space program. You know, I went to NASA here in Florida, Cape Kennedy, Cape Canaveral, a couple months back, made a very good YouTube video, which you should check out on my YouTube channel, a tour of Cape Kennedy. It will blow your mind. It was very, very good. That was the first time I had been to Cape Kennedy in almost 25 years. Because the manned space program was shut down, I didn't go. Now, because of SpaceX, we have the ability to send people into space again, the United States. That's Elon Musk. And the liberals are going after Elon Musk. They've gotten something under their skin that he doesn't pay enough in taxes. You understand how much tax revenue is generated by Elon Musk? My goodness. And his companies? And one thing I don't get is why the liberals are hating on Elon Musk. They should love him. Because of Elon Musk, you know, the electric vehicle has a hope, which is the liberals' big dream. You know, Elon Musk with Tesla has made electric cars cool and hipster vehicles, which they were not before Tesla. A Prius, which was a hybrid, is a dorky looking car, isn't it? Yeah, he had to sell off a bunch of stock to pay taxes, but they say it's not enough. And Elizabeth Warren went after him, and he called her Senator Karen. Senator Karen. And Joy Reid, who lives in Senator Karen's teepee, Pocahontas, on her show, she went after Elon Musk. And I want to play this, and it fits into what I was talking about with that judge and the N-word and Paula Deen, okay? Here's Joy Reid.
Elon wasn't happy, so he did what he always...
Oh, hold on a second. I got to turn on the audio for that. I don't have this queued up here. Hold on. Here we go. Joy Reid.
Elon wasn't happy, so he did what he always did and stomped his little feet and insulted Senator Warren, calling her an angry mom and referring to her as Senator Karen. So for so many reasons, being a freeloader and a selfish and disrespectful one, and for misappropriating black vernacular for misogynistic purposes, Elon Musk is the absolute worst.
Okay. She said that he is using black vernacular to go after her, meaning Karen. I've been saying this since I first heard the term Karen. Karen is a racial slur. Karen is the N-word equivalent for white women. Joy Reid, Karen is a racial slur, like the N-word, and she's confirming that. It's a racial slur that is used very specifically towards white women. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Should black people not be able to use the K word? Should the K word be forbidden? Should only white people be allowed to use the K word? Can't have it both ways. You can't say racial slurs are unacceptable, that a judge who uses one will be off the bench, a cook will lose their cooking show for using it about a man who has a gun to their head, a judge will be in trouble if a home invader, where she lives with her children, she uses the word. If you're out there using racial slurs too. And Joy Reid is telling us that Karen is indeed a racial slur towards white women. It is the equivalent of the N-word. Let me hear what you think about that. Is it a racial slur, Karen? I believe it is. Out of sensitivity, I would ask if African American callers would not use the word Karen, since it is a racial slur towards white people, white women. Non-white people must say the K word. Okay? But I'd like to hear your thoughts on this at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this and everything else I brought up in the first hour. Brought up some pretty good topics, I think, in this first third of the program. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We'll be right back.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Mary Siegel at the Siegel.
I'm going to play Andrea's commercial now. It's unedited, so I got to kind of do it a live edit on the air. Here we go.
Offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-37.
Brian Craig here. You've heard me talk about how the MyPillow mattress topper has changed my life. It makes a great Christmas gift. Right now, if you go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, the 3-inch mattress topper from MyPillow, the thickest mattress topper that Mike Lindell makes, you can get for 50% off. It makes a great Christmas gift for yourself and anyone on your gift-giving list. 50% off, the lowest price ever, and this price will disappear without notice. Now, it has changed my life. For the first time in my life, when I slept on the MyPillow mattress topper, I now wake up when my alarm goes off. Not a half hour early, not 5 minutes early, not 30 seconds early. I get a full night rested sleep each and every night with the MyPillow mattress topper. Yesterday, Andrea called in. She has the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper and shared her experience of how, after some very, very severe injuries, for the first time in many years, she was able to get a full night's sleep each and every night, courtesy of the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, which you can get for 50% off with the promo code KANE at checkout at MyPillow.com. Here's Andrea's call from yesterday's show. 3-inch mattress topper, which is 50% off right now with the promo code KANE at checkout. And you were telling me about your situation and how the MyPillow mattress topper changed your life. Can you tell me about that?
Let me tell you, Brian, I'm literally shocked. I'm normally very skeptical when I buy things. So I have fixed my pillows, and then I bought the mattress topper. So about 5 years ago, I was involved in an accident at the gym where I was doing a pull-up, and somebody actually jumped on me, which tore both my rotator cuffs, and on my right shoulder, it severed my bicep, part of my tricep, most of the deltoid, and there's a fine skin that goes all the way around your elbow joint, pretty much all of that. So my right shoulder is loaded with pins and screws, and so is my right elbow. And I can't really sleep laying down. So it's hard for me to sleep. I never get deep sleep. When I got the mattress topper, it has been the first time in probably 5 years. The first night I got it, I actually slept so well. I slept through boot camp and 2 clients. It's so supportive.
Be right back, guys. I gotta get more water.
Comfortable, and it eases the pain that I have. I'm actually sleeping longer deep sleep durations, which is imperative for your health.
Oh yeah.
I'm supposed to get
That's amazing.
down into the.
That's amazing, Andrea. That really is. Now, listen, if you go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, you can get the very same mattress topper that I sleep on, the one that Andrea is talking about. It's the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, the thickest mattress topper that Mike Lindell and MyPillow offer for 50% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. You can also order by phone, 800-716-4879, 800-716-4879, promo code KANE, KANE. Yeah, that's amazing, and I'm glad we can help you out with that, and I'm sure it's been a big change in your life.
It's shocking. It's literally shocking. It's the best thing I have ever bought, truly.
Wow. Hey, Andrea, thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Have a good day, Brian.
All right, take care. Wow, that's amazing. You hear that? First night's sleep she's gotten in 5 years with the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper. 50% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. And again, you can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. Comes in every mattress size there is, and it comes in a box that's perfect to wrap and put under the tree. You can also send it to the recipient of the gift if you're sending it out for a Christmas gift. But as you can hear with Andrea, it makes a great gift for yourself as well. Wow, that's an amazing story.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now, here's Steve.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Oh, man, I tell you. Okay, so Pelosi, is it just me or does Pelosi look more out of it lately? I've seen her. She's had these little press events the last couple days. She looks tired, weathered, haggard. Doesn't she? She looks like a woman who during the pandemic didn't go to the beauty salon for a few months, but she was going. All the beauty salons were shut down, but she still went. She still went. But anyway, she's out there and talking. This is Pelosi yesterday.
The fact is that there is an attitude of lawlessness in our country that springs from I don't know where. Maybe you do.
Yeah, well, thank you for asking, Nancy. I do. From you and the Democrats. Here you've got a vice president, Willie Brown's girlfriend, Kamala Harris. What was she doing? She had a bail fund for looters. She put together a looters bail fund, the vice president of the United States. My goodness. The support of Black Lives Matter, who is involved in a lot of the lawlessness. And I got to tell you something. New York is screwed. New York is screwed. Did you guys catch Greg Kelly last night on NewsMax TV? Greg Kelly's show on NewsMax TV is so good. I try not to miss it. If I do, I'll try to catch it on the weekend. But it's a very, very good show. And, you know, Greg Kelly, his father for a long time was Commissioner Kelly, the police commissioner of New York for 10, 15, however long it was. And he was showing the speech between this new mayor and the new police commissioner. And she came up and gave her speech. And what she talked about, she didn't say anything about cleaning up crime. What she said is having a police department that looks like the city. They got a black mayor and a black police commissioner. What is she talking about? It seems to me the new police commissioner in New York is more concerned about virtue signaling, gaslighting, and affirmative action than she is cleaning up the streets. What I was hoping to hear from the new police commissioner was, if you do crime, you're going to jail. That's it. You do crime, you're going to jail. All I heard her do was praise herself and the mayor for their greatness and how they're going to have a police department that looks like the city. Well, right now, the city looks like a lawless place. It looks like an anarchy is what it looks like. Is that what the police department's going to look like? New York is very, very, it's just sad. It is so, so sad. And this police commissioner is a joke. The mayor looks to be as much as a fool as the outgoing de Blasio. But you know, the people in New York, they elect these people. You know, I don't like saying they get what they deserve, because I know that's not nice. But you know what? At some point, when they keep doing this over and over again, I can only say they've gotten what they deserve. Really, truly. Now, Pocahontas, Senator Karen, is going back and forth with Elon Musk, trying to be relevant again. Elizabeth Warren is starting the movement. She's been on the down low lately, but now she's come out of the TP and she's out there all over the place all of a sudden. And they're going to make a move to pack the Supreme Court of the United States. Right now, there's 9 justices, and there have been different numbers of justices over the years, but we've had 9 justices on the Supreme Court for the last century at least. It's the way it is now. It's not exactly stated in the Constitution. But what's going on now with court packing, President Trump appointed some very young people, so far as Supreme Court justices go, to the Supreme Court. They don't think they're going to have a vacancy anytime soon. So they're out there talking about packing the court. We've heard a little bit of this. But now, Elizabeth Warren, she's on TV openly talking about it. And they're going to make a move. I'm not saying they're going to be successful in this, but it's going to be part of their strategy. And the reason they want to add justices to the Supreme Court is because the court is not agreeing with them right now. So they want to pack it with lackeys so that they can have a rubber stamp of a court. Listen.
I didn't come to this easy. The problem we've
Steve
got
Kane
is
Show.
First that Mitch McConnell hijacked
hold on.
this court. He stole a Supreme Court seat so that President Obama didn't get to name someone. And then he crammed through a nominee just weeks before President Biden was elected. But this Supreme Court's response to that has not been to try to restore its own integrity, to try to put some balance back in the court, but instead to lean into the extremism. And so now we've got a court, it's not just one opinion, we've got a court that over time is taking out the basic notion of the rule of law. The idea that we decide something and we pretty much stick with that. It takes a long time before we make change, but not for this court. This court is there to undercut long-established rules that protect unions, to take away people's right to their day in court, to take away voting.
Is she talking about the January 6th prisoners that haven't had their day in court? No bail?
And now we've watched them. They're right on the edge of saying in basically the Roe versus Wade decision, nope, we're just going to turn that around. This court has lost the respect of the American people. And the only way I believe that we're going to rebuild that is we need to bring in more justices. We need to get some balance back in this court.
Yeah, and she's saying at least 4. And of course, Biden would get to appoint all 4 of them. And they may be, Elizabeth Warren and some of her people, they may be scheming to make this an election issue. Vote Democrat in 2024 because we're going to add 4 seats to the Supreme Court. That's how dictators operate. That's how tyrants run a country, just like that. All right, our number toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's the best, Al from Cold Spring.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, I don't agree with what she's saying, trying to pack this court. I mean, the system works. Look at the judge that Trump appointed, thinking that he was going to kiss his butt and own them, turned around and said,
Steve Kane Show.
You got to give up your tax return just recently. And yesterday you asked me why the terrorist MAGA people didn't get charged with insurrection. The reason they didn't get charged with insurrection is because they got charged with U.S. Code 1850-12.
Oh.
Yeah, which sticks better for the amount of people they have to.
It's amazing. First off, that I did not ask you. No. All right, goodbye. No. You're not going to call in and go on and on, not let me interject, and then hang up. It's not going to happen. Goodbye, Al. I did not ask you that question because I did not refer to the Capitol breachers as terrorists. Maybe a little breaking and entering, maybe a little vandalism, but certainly not terrorist. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Let's go to Jeff in Maine. Hey, Jeff, good morning.
The number of
Steve Kane
people
Show
on the SCOTUS, I believe, would take a constitutional amendment.
Steve Kane Show.
And we know, and I know you know, but I want the
Steve Kane
viewers
Show
to know that takes 2/3 of the House
and
2/3 of the Senate.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I do not know about that. The president might be able just to do it. I don't think that's true. I think the president has the authority to just say we're going to now have 12 members or 15 members. I don't think you're right about that. Who'd you hear that from? Levin? Who said that?
I don't remember where I heard. I thought
no.
Levin.
Now that may be what it says in, I don't know, some old documents. And when I say an old document, I don't mean the Constitution. That might be spelled out somewhere, be a legal theory. But even if it's true, that's no. In fact, Roosevelt tried to do it. The party turned against him, and he was unsuccessful. But no, I've never heard that before. They got to have 3/4 of the House and Senate to add. No, I think the president can just say, we got 5 more justices. Here they are.
I'm going to look into that, Brian, because that doesn't make sense that a president.
The way to look into it is it's happened before. Okay, there have been. I'm not an expert on this, so I'm not pretending to be, and I haven't done a lot of research or reading up on this, okay, because it seemed to be one of those things that seemed impossible to happen. But it's becoming more real every day. There have been, I think, as few as 6 justices at a particular time, and the numbers have changed over the years, like in the 1800s era. So I think the best thing to do if you were to research that is to go back and find out about those instances and how it was increased. Not go back and read an article that's like on Breitbart or something telling you the process. Go back and look when there were fewer justices and how they were added. That's the way to research it.
Actually, I think it was Jay Sekulow in the ACLJ. I heard that.
Well, I'm not saying that Jay Sekulow's. Who am I to question Jay Sekulow on the Constitution and the law? You know, but we got a lawless president right now. And I don't think when they changed the number in the past that they had to go through 3/4 majority in both houses. I think that would have been brought up many times throughout this discussion. Now that may be, when they go to do that, like say they can't, it's not that they're not going to add justices to the Supreme Court. They're not going to do it because it would be challenged. It would go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court would not uphold that. Okay, it'd be challenged. Somebody like Jay Sekulow would challenge it. But it doesn't mean they're not going to use it as an election issue and say, vote Democrat in 24, we're going to get 4 new justices to the Supreme Court, and they'll all be Democrats. It's not about it really happening. I don't believe it will, at least not now. But it's an election issue that they're trying to create. These are desperate people.
Yeah, that's a good point. I believe that's the way that Democrats would do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But go back and look at how it changed in the past. You too, Jeff in Maine. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
How you doing? This is Mike from New York.
Hey, Mike.
I just wanted to tell you, Elon Musk this year is going to pay more than $15 billion in taxes. And I'm curious, besides Al, who else is going to pay $15 billion? I wonder what Pocahontas is going to pay in taxes.
Well, she very well could pay less taxes than you or me, even though she's worth millions of dollars, because I'm sure she takes all kinds of deductions.
And we had a basketball game yesterday, sometimes we use like facilities like Pace University, so we were all ready to go, and the new governor called a state of emergency.
Oh my goodness!
NYU, she closed Pace, she closed all the schools, and the finals are this weekend because my sister has kids that go to NYU.
Well, I'm very concerned about you guys in New York. I was talking at the top of the hour. I saw your new commissioner of police. She came out and she didn't say anything about arresting criminals. She said she wants a police department that looks like the city. So she's into affirmative action, not arresting people, it seems.
So you have to be in New York to understand what's going on. First of all, the new mayor said he wanted a female and he wanted a black female as a commissioner. Whoever hires somebody based on the color of their skin and a female or...
It sounds racist. It sounds racist and sexist. Is that legal? Is the new Mayor Adams, is he breaking the law by discounting all white male applicants? Isn't that racial discrimination?
And what you always said about a triple minority, she's not married. She doesn't like men. There's no pictures of her with ever men.
Really, she's gay?
Just like the district attorney of New York. She's a lesbian.
Oh, really?
I don't understand what... Yeah, I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just telling you the truth. That's exactly...
Okay.
They're worried of, crime's up 81%. Last year was up 157%. So it's kind of misleading. So you have to add the two figures.
Mm-hmm.
In Applebee's in Times Square, they really did arrest 18 people last night for not wearing masks, and they fined Applebee's.
Now, that's an interesting thing. I saw that story. I get, maybe you tweeted it and tagged me. Somebody tagged me with that story, and I retweeted it. They arrested, okay, now I want you to think about this. Think about this. Now, they arrested 18 people for not showing proof of vaccination at Applebee's. If those same 18 people would have looted the Applebee's, would they have been arrested?
They would have let them go.
They would have let them go, exactly. You can loot Applebee's all day in New York and not get arrested, but you show up without your vax card, go to jail. Don't pass go. Hey, Mike, take care. Take care. We are just over a month away from the Steve Kane Trump 2022 MAGA cruise. We leave January 21st on the Celebrity Equinox, and we have on the line Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot, who organizes all of our Steve Kane cruises. Ian, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Great. Is this our fourth cruise that we have done?
I think it's the fifth.
Fifth? Oh my goodness, the fifth? Oh man, we're like travelers, man. Fifth. Oh my goodness, that's exciting. That's exciting. And some of the people in our group, they've been on all of them with us, which is amazing.
The Independence of the Seas.
That's correct. That's correct. Now here we are, just a little bit more than a month away. This weekend, I'm getting out all of my clothes and going. I'm going to actually start packing. Make sure I don't have to buy anything for the cruise. I got some new clothes and everything. But for others that are joining us on this cruise next month, what's the latest?
Okay, the latest is that online check-in is available. The luggage tags, like the good luggage tags, the ones that they'll mail you, should be available in the next week or two, and you can update your mailing address with the online check-in process, install the Celebrity Cruises app so you can get those. And our sail away party is going to be our official first event. As you know, we sail away from Port Everglades on the helipad of the ship. Very exclusive event, and toast champagne
with officers from the ship. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. And I remember on the last cruise we had our champagne party on the bow of the ship leaving port, and a lot of our listeners from out of town, I was telling them I went to high school right there at that beach, and they were like blown away. They couldn't believe it because my high school was down the street from there. But we have our private exclusive sail away party on the helipad, which is on the bow of the ship. And I was watching, the Celebrity Equinox has been completely remodeled, refitted, and updated since we last took a cruise on it a few years back. And I watched an hour-long YouTube video of a guy giving a tour of the ship. And man, they have really upgraded the Celebrity Equinox.
And the last few sailings have gone with about 1,000 people out of 2,850. So we're going to have really the run of the ship, and it's going to be really, really great.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, this is going to be a cruise experience like you've never had before. The Celebrity Equinox, as Ian just said, usually has about 2,850 passengers on board. There's only going to be about 1,000 this time, maybe even a little less. And you're never going to have an opportunity to be pampered like this because the crew to passenger ratio is going to be incredible. I mean, you're going to be treated like Donald Trump at Trump Tower. We're going to be treated so well on this ship, and you're never going to have an opportunity to travel on a luxury cruise ship at this incredible price with so few people on it. It's going to be an amazing experience I'm looking forward to.
Right. My mom got off of the Celebrity Summit yesterday, and there were 560 people on board out of 2,200. And
wow.
That the personalized service was incredible, and it's a really unique time to cruise.
Wesley, follow Super Chat. Everyone thank Wesley. Yeah, and this is it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and we're going to Curacao, Bonaire, Aruba, and Bimini. And Ian and I are working on a very spectacular, we're not going to announce it yet until it's firmed up, but we're working on a very spectacular shore excursion that you will remember for years to come, like we did on our last one when we were in Mexico. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, and we're planning a lot of shipboard activities together, and we go to the shows together, dinner every night, our sail-away party with champagne and officers from the crew, shore excursions together. This one is going to be, they're all fun, but this one's going to be in particular a blast because so many of us have not had a vacation in over 2 years because of all the shutdowns and lockdowns.
People to check in as soon as possible. Get on the ship as early as possible because those early check-in times are the ones that go first. I have an 11 o'clock check-in time personally, and some of our listeners that I've spoken to have a 10:30.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, my daughter and I are going together, and I checked in online a couple days ago, and I'm boarding at 11:30 because I'm going to be on the air that morning. I don't think I could make it there for 11, so I could have, but I got on at 11:30, and I always get on the ship early because the moment that you set foot on the ship, that's when the free drinks begin.
So the magic.
That's right. All right, now listen. If you're interested in going, because they've reduced the number of passengers so much on these ships, there very well may be some availabilities yet available, so call Ian about that. But also, if you have any questions about the online check-in, also give Ian a call. I know Steve was asking me about the online check-in yesterday, and he'll probably be getting in touch with you in a couple of days about how to do that. So if you have any questions about the online check-in, call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. He can help you with that. And Ian's number is 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. And that's Ian's number. All right, Ian, take care. We'll talk soon. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, man, yeah, the Celebrity Equinox. And we're going to have a ball. And I need the vacation. I do. And those of you that aren't joining us, I'm sorry. I'll have fun for you. All right, we are back. It's 27 minutes after the hour. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1. 888-465-2631. You know, it is difficult to watch liberal media. Yes, somebody asked, you can get a tour of the bridge. That is something that is available. Everything is possible. Call Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. He'll help you with that. It is difficult to watch liberal media. Sometimes I do because to do my job properly, I have to see what the left is doing. I have to. That's part of my job. I have to see and expose myself. Unfortunately, not expose myself in that way, expose myself to the liberal media. And it's so interesting to hear liberals talk when they don't think conservatives are in the room and hear how they process things. And Nicole Wallace, who's a real snake, Nicole Wallace is on MSNBC, and she is a Republican, believe it or not. Yeah, I know, she's a traitorous Republican. She also worked for John McCain, and I suspect Nicole Wallace, who always looks pissed off. You ever watch her on MSNBC? She always looks pissed. Why is she pissed? She's got a national TV show on MSNBC. She should be happy, but she's miserable. She hates Fox, she hates Trump, she hates MAGA, And I imagine Nicole Wallace is probably at the top of the list of suspects of McCain campaign insiders that were leaking out slanders, spreading slanders about the great Governor Sarah Palin during that campaign. She's just a nasty woman, Nicole Wallace. But anyway, I pulled up a clip of her show yesterday I wanted to share with you. This is Nicole Wallace. She's talking about the departure of Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace's firing from Fox News. And her perspective of what's really going on at Fox News is interesting. Listen to this. This is Nicole Wallace yesterday from MS13DNC.
If you peek in on Fox News, there is dedicated to purging enemies of their movement as they are to defending the champions of their movement, Donald Trump. And what they have done to Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, who I think privately are on truth serum, folks like Sean Hannity see the world exactly the way Liz Cheney does.
Okay, wait a minute. She's saying that Adam Kinzinger, who's a jerk, and Liz Cheney, who's a traitor, they're on truth serum? Okay.
To purging enemies of their movement as they are to defending the champions of their movement, Donald Trump. And what they have done to Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, who I think privately are on truth serum, folks like Sean Hannity see the world exactly the way Liz Cheney does.
Okay, slow down. She said Sean Hannity sees the world exactly as Liz Cheney does. Does anyone believe that? She believes that we need a world without Donald Trump having influence in it. Liz Cheney will walk around in all her uppity snobbery and tell you that she's a conservative, I'm a fiscal conservative, I'm a this conservative, I'm a conservative on that. She's a profiteer. In fact, she's a war profiteer. And let me tell you something. Her father lied to, I was a strong supporter of her father and President Bush, and I'm sorry that I did not know what they were really all about back then, and I supported them in their efforts in Iraq. Donald Trump was opposed to military intervention in Iraq, and as always, Donald Trump was right. I was wrong. I was lied to by Bush and Cheney. How many millions of people's lives have been affected in terrible ways because of her father? She's not a conservative. She's a war profiteer. She has profited off the death of civilians. She has profited off of destabilizing an entire region of the country. The Muslim Spring, all the terrorists taking over in these Middle Eastern countries. People blame Obama for it, and he certainly has a role to play. But it's really Dick Cheney and George Bush who did that. They're the ones who destabilized the entire region, including being responsible for the Syrian civil war, which is an endless war, because they destabilized the region by removing Saddam Hussein with a lie to the world about weapons of mass destruction that they knew was a lie. So Liz Cheney can go around with her arrogance and tell us she's a conservative. She's not a conservative. She's actually the absolute opposite. She is like Liz Cheney, her family, and these people with their endless wars. Think about it. President Trump was ending the war properly in Afghanistan, and of course Biden wrecked it, but they started a war that had soldiers fighting in it that were born after 9/11. There were men and women in the field of battle who were born after 9/11. They were born after the war began. Some of them a couple years after. Only have to be 18 to be in the service. 20-year war. You ever see in a movie or a television show where about an arms dealer and how they sell to both sides? They don't care. They just make money off of war. That's the Cheney family. They make money off of war. So no, Liz Cheney does not think like Sean Hannity. She doesn't think like a human being. She thinks like the lowest of the low, which is an arms dealer that sells to both sides. Let's get back to this. Nicole Wallace.
And what they have done to
Steve Kane
Liz
Show.
Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, who
Hold
I
on,
think
hold on.
privately are on truth serum.
Steve Kane Show.
Folks like Sean Hannity see the world exactly the way Liz Cheney
Steve Kane
does.
Show.
He certainly has made it sound like
Hold
he
on.
has for the last 20 years. But she must be purged. She must be destroyed.
Yes, she must be purged.
Or tied to her primary challenger.
Yes.
And I wonder where you think that takes us. Not just Fox enabling Trump and Trumpism, but being willing participants in purging people not who they disagree with. Not on anything. not on 9/11, not on the military, not on foreign policy, not on anything. Just on the question of Trump.
Just on the question of Trump. And she asks it in a dramatic way. Then there's a pause where those in studio and those couple dozen watching MSNBC at home can ponder the wisdom that Nicole Wallace just shared with us. Nicole Wallace, listen, everything I said about Liz Cheney and those people is true. They are not conservatives. They're war profiteers. They make their living off of sacrificing U.S. citizens and non-U.S. citizens so that their companies can make money. And that's how they make their money. I'm sorry, these are not conservative people. She is not. Liz Cheney may think she's a conservative because she's been brought up in this corrupt family. Like Biden doesn't know that he's corrupt because he knows no other way. But they're not conservative. They're not. Trump is, and he always has been. Go back to the old Sally Jesse Raphael, Rona Barrett days with President Trump. Find the interviews on YouTube. He was saying the same thing back in the early 80s about China and everything else that he says today. He's the conservative. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our break 35 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and
well, thank you,
slate
Jacqueline.
tile systems.
Appreciate that.
Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just look.
Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hi, this is Dee in Florida.
Oh, hey, Dee. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks, but I am really upset about something I just heard on your show a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to call in about it, and it's about the 18 people that were arrested for not wearing a mask.
Mm.
Here's what I'm really upset about. Why are these enforcers, these police, arresting people for not wearing a mask? Why are they going along with it? Why is the police department going along with it? Draconian measures. Why? If the enforcers say, no, we're not going to enforce that. This is free America here. We're not going to do this.
Mm.
Are they doing this?
Okay, well, they're doing, it's pretty simple. It's New York, and you've got public servants, government workers in New York, they're liberal. Here, whether it's the fire department or the police, here in Florida, you go to the average police officer, chances are they're a conservative, right? But you're in New York, so they're liberal, and they make a lot of money, and they got pensions. This is what you're seeing with this Applebee's incident. I talk about this a lot, and it's so true. This is how the Holocaust happened. There's been endless books and college lectures and documentaries. How did the Holocaust happen? Because when the Nazis came into power, local police and judges, public servants, code enforcement officers, and the like did what we've seen going on in the last couple of years. They enforced, to maintain their job, their power, their pensions, they enforced the Nazi laws. That's what we've got going on now. That's why, last year when those police in New York got a report that there were too many people in that one house, they went over there. It was a house, there was an event, it was Jews, and the police pulled Jews out of a house because they said there's too many Jews in this house. And none of them even occurred to them, what does this look like? It looks like what it is Anne Frank up in the attic is what it looks like to me. This is what happens. You've got liberal bureaucrats and government workers who are liberal in their mindset. They make a good living. They want to protect their living and their pension, and they won't stand up. That's it. It's scary.
Scary. It's happened in Australia. It happened in California. When are people going to start talking about this out loud? I don't care that you're liberal. We are Americans. We are patriots here.
Well, I'll tell you, it's because liberals agree with this. I think I talked about this on my podcast last night. I made a video on my YouTube channel where I went to the dollar store that Biden no longer exists. It's now the $1.25 store because of Biden. And that's a dollar store in Parkland where not far from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, where the Parkland shooting happened. It's in Broward County, which is a Democrat community. I couldn't believe, my wife and I were maskless. We were a minority. Almost everybody was wearing a mask. And it's because it's a Democrat town. Democrats support this crap. Democrats don't support freedom. They don't support liberty. They believe government is all-knowing, and they enjoy government control.
Well, I don't know. What are we supposed to do about it? Really, our voices need to be heard. How do we do?
Well, you're doing it now. We're doing it now. I mean, we talk about it. We support people like Ron DeSantis, Kristi Noem, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and of course the great President Donald Trump. And there's a movement. This will not stop until Trump is back in 2024.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned about your seminar callers that you've had last couple on your show. I love it when they call in. The girl from New Jersey.
Oh yes.
2 mornings in a row. I loved when she called in day 1. You set her straight. She called in day number 2. And still had an issue right there and then. Seminar callers should fake.
No, I don't mind seminar callers. The Steve and I enjoy talking to people we disagree with, the seminar callers and all that. That's great. And Steve and I are both very highly skilled with dealing with these people. And I don't want to discourage them, but I'm still going to call them out for what they are, and.
And I wanted all of the listening audience to hear your response to her, because she's not the only one that thinks like that. Set them straight.
No, I'm all for that. I am not if you take issue with me or Steve or a caller or something that somebody says, there's always an open line for you on this program. And that's how the Steve Kane Show has always been that way. Yeah. All right, D. Take care. Thanks for the call. Richie the bus driver.
Yeah, good morning. And I hope you have a great weekend. Before I get into my stick, may I say a little something about the cruise that's taking place next month?
Okay.
Listening. I cruised a lot of times. Brian knows I was a big cruiser. I never had as much fun as when I went with the group of people. You see, you put a face to the name and to the caller, and we became basically a family out there. It's like a reunion every year. I mean, that's the biggest part. All of the martini bars and everything. That's great. That's added stuff. But to get to meet people that you listen to every morning, and you get to become friends with them, that makes everything.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, thank you very much, Richie.
They are really good people. Now I'm going to throw something at you with Nicole Wallace real quick. Nicole, how could they put such a dumb woman on, I hate to say a woman because I don't want to get attacked as chauvinist, on a platform like you have? Here you are highfalutin, and I'm on a fixed income as an American, along with probably a lot of other Americans that go to the supermarket and get sticker shocked every day by the people that you endorse and put into the Washington, D.C. I mean, it's to the point now when you go into a supermarket, they don't even have cream cheese. You can't even make a damn cake.
This is your second day about the cream cheese. You got a real thing. You must start your day with a bagel and cream cheese.
Well, that's another thing. The bagels, they don't have cream cheese either. But it's a whole bunch of different things. And then last night I almost fell off the couch. But I'm gonna ask you a question. When you go on vacations, what kind of hotels do you stay at? You stay at like 5-star resorts?
What kind of hotels do I stay at?
Like let me see. Do you stay at like a fancy hotel like the Hyatt?
I stay in nice hotels if I'm staying in a hotel, absolutely.
And you pay big bucks, don't you?
Yes.
You're going to stay at the Hyatt, aren't you going to pay big bucks?
Sure.
That's where the United States is putting all these refugees from Africa.
I know. Isn't that nice? I know. Yeah. It makes you think, yeah.
Permanently. They're using the Hyatt as their permanent address. And we're paying for this crap.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go to Publix and I see the prices, I get crazy.
Well, I'll tell you, my wife and I do our shopping at Publix typically on Instacart. It's hard for my wife to get out to the store, and we started doing Instacart last year, and it saves us money because, when you do Instacart where they do the home delivery, you don't buy extra stuff, you know what I mean? So it saves us money. But I went to Publix yesterday for something, and it was the first time I went into Publix for a while in person. So I'm looking at the prices, and holy smokes, everything is more expensive. Look at the coffee prices. Look at the coffee. Coffee is like, you go to the meat department, and ground chuck is like Kobe beef prices.
Yeah, isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah.
And that's for nothing. And everyone feels it. So I think with all of that, they're going to use all these things in the election. They can't every day.
Well, the biggest thing that pisses people off are gas prices, because that's a campaign sign on every street corner in America, and I got to tell you, the gas is $2 more a gallon in Florida than it was on Inauguration Day for regular unleaded, $2 more a gallon, and I'm telling you, most people that don't make a lot of money they can't afford to fill their car up. I mean, I went and filled my daughter's car up for her, and I do that. So I don't like my daughter going to the gas station. The gas station's a very vulnerable place for women, so I try to take her car to fill it up, and it cost a lot more than it did not that long ago to fill it up. I was in shock, and yeah.
I wanted to say to you, was Liz Cheney. Do you know that she's been lying all along and they've been carrying the water? Bart Levin pulled this up last night. I didn't know this, and I'm sure you might not know this. They keep on saying President Trump was derelict in duty. He didn't wait. He waited 187 minutes to make a phone call to try to stop what was going on. That's a lie. One of the big newspapers checked it. His first response, stop the rioting. This is not what we do. Was 20 minutes into it.
Yeah.
The next one was 23 minutes after that, and then he made a video that they refused to put on right away.
Yeah, and then they cut off his line of communication from the White House early on, so he could. And I'll tell you, they knocked him offline instantly, and he got other accounts going up so he could talk to the American people. They knocked those down and cut him off, like Gorbachev when they deposed Gorbachev. And I'll tell you, however long it was faster than Liz Cheney's father and George Bush reacted on 9/11 when George Bush was sitting in the classroom. What were they reading to him? If Heather Had Two Mommies or something? I don't know. Whatever book they were reading in the classroom to President Bush. How long was that? And her father, how long was that? You know, give me a break.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But his excuse was, I didn't want to scare the children.
His excuse was the excuse was this, okay? This was the excuse. It takes time. The president can't react instantly based on what's on television or on social media. They have to be informed by knowledgeable, credible people in the know. And it takes a few minutes to find out sometimes what really is going on, okay? And Bush in that classroom, you know, it takes a few minutes for things to happen, okay, and to get informed. But, you know, but I would say that President Bush's reaction to January 6th was much faster than Bush and Cheney's was on 9/11.
Yeah, well, if the voting, that's the next.
Well, they're going to do what they're going to do. All right, I got to run for the last break of the second hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Steve Kane just had GoPro over at his house to trim his trees. On the line, we have Nathan. He's the owner of GoPro. He's going to tell you what he did over at Steve's house and why you should call him to help you with all of your landscaping needs. Nathan?
So the biggest thing we did over at Steve's house, the trees were all overgrown. You couldn't even see the house, the yard, and grass was starting to die because there was so much shade from the trees being overgrown for such a long time. So we came in, we looked at the trees, did an assessment, pruned them structurally so that way the trees are balanced and even to make sure that there was no possibility of them coming down in the storms. We did 2 royal poinciana trees, one in the front yard and one in the backyard. Also, one of the royal poincianas in the front yard was actually choking out one of the oak trees. So now by trimming them back, the oak tree can come back to life and provide a nice healthy tree for Steve. The reason why you should hire the professionals here at GoPro over the guy with just the truck who's mowing the grass next door is our guys are trained in the different types of trees and identifying how to properly prune the tree so it's structurally healthy, not to over trim them. The thing that we do over the competition is we make sure we do it right. Make the proper cuts on the tree, trim the tree properly so that way the tree can come back healthy. We service anything from residential, single family home all the way up to large HOAs, commercial buildings, whatever the customer has a need for, we can service.
Give Nathan at GoPro a call right now. He'll give you a free estimate. 954-680-7739. 954-680-7739. Make sure you tell him you heard him on the radio. 954-680-7739. Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to Champagne Automotive, and I got to say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with in my entire life. We took a car over there that was not being used yet. You know, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look at it, and I got to say that this man fixed the car. It's running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. A couple things here I want to mention. 2020, I'm in the middle of watching it. I was watching it last night on Hulu, and I was in the middle of it because it was a very long special, and I had to go to sleep. I'm going to finish watching it over the weekend. 2020 did a special, full thing on the Alec Baldwin shooting, and it is very, very good. It's very good. They even interviewed the sheriff. I haven't gotten to the sheriff part yet. But Alec Baldwin's going to get away with this. They had 2 misfirings prior to this shooting. It didn't involve live rounds, but they had some gun issues. Alec Baldwin's going to get away with it, and that's just the way it is. One other thing I want to mention that's unrelated to what we would normally talk about is Chris Noth. You seen this guy? Chris Noth. He's got, is it 2 or 3 women that are accusing him of sexual assault or something now? Shocker, right? They bring back Sex in the City. There's a controversial scene with him in the, he gets killed, and then he's got this Peloton thing going on. All of a sudden, for the first time in 10 years or more, Chris Noth's name is in the entertainment industry, and he's got all these Hollywood starlets coming out accusing him of sexual abuse. I've read the stories of all the women that have made accusations against Chris Noth. It's consensual sex with these first 2. This other one, I don't know, something about him being flirty. I don't know. These are not sexual assaults or rapes that they're talking about, and this is the deal. Is it Chris Noth? Is that his name? You know what I'm talking about. He used to be on Law and Order. This is what guys got to do. This is crazy to say, and I've said this before. People think I'm nuts. Men who are out there, doing these things, living your life. Before you have sex with a woman, you need to take out your iPhone and have her make a video giving you consent, and then you need to keep that video forever. Because 20 years from now, 25 years from now, 5 years from now, 3 years from now, they can come forward and accuse you of anything, and you're done. You need to have a record of consent of any sexual activity. I know it sounds insane, but that's the world we're in now. All right, well, it's time to check in with Janet Cimarelli from AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace in Pompano with the Morning Health Report. Janet Cimarelli, good morning.
It's Janet.
Yes.
Morning.
Good. How are you doing, Janet?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm doing great. And don't forget, everyone, Janet Cimarelli's radio show today, Friday, every Tuesday and Friday on all of our radio stations at 10 a.m. Make sure you check it out. What do you have for us today, Janet?
Well, it's very exciting. We're having a raffle. We're going to be doing, gathering names and numbers for this whole week. And then on New Year's Eve, actually 2 weeks, we're going to make the drawing. So it will be a very happy beginning for 2022 for some of our very lucky winners. There are a number of different prizes, but the one I want to talk about today is a backpack. It is a very, very good looking backpack. It has all the bells and whistles that the best backpacks have. Zipped containers, or compartments, zipped, hidden compartments. But the most impressive thing here, I'm not, as Brian very well knows, I'm not the most highly technologically advanced plugged-in individual. But this backpack comes with the ability to charge your phone or your iPad. Very, very interesting and really sleek and good looking, all black. And if people give us a call as soon as the store opens, which is 10 o'clock, 954-317-1851. You just leave your first name and your telephone number, and we will enter you, and you can call as many times as you want, 954-317-1851, or you can come into the store and just leave your name and your phone number, and we'll enter you. It's really very nice backpack. A variety of other very, very nice prizes that I'll be talking about over the coming week. And so that's
great.
On at AJ.
That's great. That's a wonderful thing. And again, Janet Cimorelli's radio show is today, every Tuesday and Friday on all of our radio stations at 10 a.m. You can also catch Janet Cimorelli's radio show on the iHeartRadio app and the TuneIn app. Pretty much every way you listen to us, you can listen to Janet, 10 a.m., searching for our station call letters WWNN. Now, AJ's Natural Wellness Shop is in the Festival Marketplace, which is, the festival is just east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road in Pompano. And the number over there, again, 954-317-1851. They open up every day at 10 a.m., and you can call in to enter that raffle if you'd like. 954-317-1851. All right, Janet Cimorelli, have a great weekend. We will talk on Monday. All right, take care. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. We'll be back.
Covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Brian Craig here. When it comes to auto repair, you want a garage that you can trust. Someone that will only do work on your car when your car needs work. Introducing Champagne Automotive in Boca Raton, the latest sponsor of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Tom called in on the radio to tell us about his experience with Champagne Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
I just want to tell you guys something. I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes for my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for the brakes, and that advertisement came on for Champagne. I live in Western Tamarack. I said, let me take a drive up there. Well, I was almost blown over how friendly, honest, old school these people are.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I had gone to previously won $800. He said, well, you need to change your power steering fluid. And Ed, the owner, put the on the lift, pulled the wheels, said, you don't need brakes. And I about fell over.
Wow, well, tell me the end of the story. You got me hooked.
So it wasn't that your vehicle was misdiagnosed at the other place. You were dealing with a crook.
Oh, absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted for a long time to have an auto repair shop. When it comes to auto repair, that is the most difficult category for us to find as an advertiser, because most are like this guy you were dealing with the other day over in Tamarack. They're crooks. And we found Champagne Automotive. Ed, who's the owner, is a listener of the program. They come very, very highly recommended. So I appreciate you calling in and telling us the good story. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in Boca off Spanish River Boulevard, immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE.
Yes. Hour number 3 has begun. Steve will be back with us on Monday, by the way. Steve's off today. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. That's right. And of course, the Friday show is the most important Steve Kane show of the week because this is not just our live morning show from 6 until 9 a.m. This is our overnight rebroadcast for the whole weekend. And just on our radio stations, we broadcast on AM 1470, 95.3 FM, and 96.9 FM. Just on our radio stations. I'm not including iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, my YouTube channel, our radio station app, and all the places that carry this program with and without our permissions. And by the way, if you are carrying any portion of this program without our permission, you are in violation. You must have written permission to carry this program. And I know for a fact we have given written permission to no one. So if you're carrying this program without written permission, you are in violation. But anyway, this Friday edition of the Steve Kane Show will air a total of 35 times before we return live to you Monday morning at 6 a.m. So we always want to make sure the Friday show is the best. And this one's pretty darn good today, if I say so myself. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call. If you'd like to comment on anything I've brought up so far since 6 a.m., and again, Friday is what I call open phone light, meaning that it is open phones so long as what you were talking about is relevant to the current news cycle at 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. Now, I was watching some of the liberal meltdown yesterday over the greatest governor ever, Ron DeSantis, and his anti-woke law that he's promoting here in Florida. And they're just having a fit over this. And MSNBC, I'm not going to play you the audio from MSNBC, but one of their fill-in hosts over there, he said that Ron DeSantis wants to codify white supremacy by banning critical race theory. They keep calling it CRT. Don't let them call it CRT. They call it CRT so you don't know what they're talking about. It's critical race theory. Now, I was talking yesterday, in the 80s, when I was in middle school, is when Black history first started to be integrated into public schools. And back then it was different. It was about great figures in American history who were African American that made contributions that were not in the history books in our schools. And it wasn't ideological. It was real history about things. That's not what's going on with critical race theory. Critical race theory is teaching that all white people are racist. In fact, white people are all born racist. That means even a little baby outside the womb for 6 seconds is a racist, that genetically white people are racist. And to have such a that's not Black history. That is a very racist ideology that with the ethnicities being changed is right out of the Fiery Cross, which was the newspaper of the Ku Klux Klan, the Democrat Ku Klux Klan. But that's what critical race theory is all about. And MSNBC says DeSantis wants to codify white supremacy by banning critical race theory. Codify, they use all these fancy words so people don't really know what they're talking about. What codify means is bring back a new system of laws or rules through the government, is what they're talking about. He's trying to bring back white supremacy. His lieutenant governor is a Hispanic woman who I've only heard speak Spanish. I don't know what they're talking about with Governor Ron DeSantis. You know, Ron DeSantis, he wears cowboy boots with his suits. I'm surprised they haven't pointed that out on MSNBC. Critical race theory has no business in public education at all. It has no business in the workplace. And it doesn't even belong in colleges, by the way. And this anti-woke bill that Ron DeSantis has, this is going to cruise right into his reelection. People are pissed and they're fed up with it. All right, let's take some calls, though. I've been yakking for a couple of hours, and my mouth is getting a little tired, quite frankly. 1-888-GO-KANE-1 is our number, and all these calls are screenless. I have no idea who's on hold. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Good morning. Ah, yes. Here we go. There we have it. There's the liberal response. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning. It's Paula from New Jersey.
Yes, Paula from New Jersey.
Are you happy to hear from me?
Oh, you're the anti-Trump lady from New Jersey.
Well, not exactly, but okay.
You're not anti-Trump?
Hear from me? What?
You're not anti-Trump?
No, I'm disappointed Trump.
Oh, I know. You're disappointed. Let me ask you, what do you do for a living?
I'm semi-retired.
You do what? What do you do for a living?
I'm semi-retired.
You're semi-retired. So what do you do? How do you pay your bills?
Well, I'm married, so my husband works.
Mm-hmm.
And
what is your typical day, though? What is your typical day like?
my typical day?
Yeah. Like how long have you been up?
I've been up since 5.
And what have you been doing since 5 a.m. up until this point, talking to me?
Getting dinner ready. Starting dinner.
Starting dinner? At 8 a.m. you're starting dinner? What is that? What are you, on Little House on the Prairie? What do you mean you're starting dinner? It's just after 8 a.m.
I'm doing prep, and then I'm going to put it in my crock pot.
And you're what's for dinner?
I'm making chili.
Chili. It takes you how long to make chili?
It takes about 6 to 8 hours.
16 hours? You know, chili happens to be one of the things. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, the reason I ask is because here's the deal. On this program, we do something that very few other talk radio shows do. Many claim to do it, but don't do it. And what we do here that others don't is invite those who disagree with us on anything to call in and challenge us. And this has been the hallmark of this program since before I was a part of it. But what I've noticed is you call in like at the same time every day with the same thing. And it's not that we mind you calling the program. You're welcome to call the program. But it's not, I don't want to turn this into the daily 8:10 segment with the lady from New Jersey that hates Trump. You gotta, you know, but you're new to the program, so you gotta space things out and days and times out a little bit, because it's becoming, okay, New Jersey Trump hate segment 10 after 8. You know, it's getting a little older, tired. But you're on now. So what is your beef with Trump this morning? I'll deal with it now, but since you're here.
Thanks. What I want to do is respond
Steve
to
Kane Show.
to the caller. A few calls again that said that she was happy to hear from me.
Yeah, D from Florida.
Okay, good. D. Yes. Okay, she brought up the point about the masks and the people getting arrested for not wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I wanted just to point out that in Trump Tower, Trump has papers right at the front door that says if you're 12 or older, you have to prove that you've been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
And my point is that, again, that if he was against the mandate, he would be taking a...
Okay, now, so this is an interesting thing. I don't know that what you're saying is true or not, but I will assume it's true for the discussion. Trump Tower is located where? Correct. Have you been to Trump Tower and seen this with your own eyes? No, I haven't. Okay, so you've just heard reports about it. So you're not sure either, but you heard reports about it. Why do you, if this sign exists in front of Trump Tower, why do you think it exists?
Because of the law in New York City.
Because of the law in New York City. That's right. You got one Democrat mayor who's a tyrant, a new one coming in, and what part and what party is the governor of New York?
Point is this: that people are losing their jobs over the mandate,
which President Trump is opposed to and has been very vocal. But Trump Tower is in New York City. That sign wasn't put up by Donald Trump. The Trump organization is required by state and city law to have that requirement up. And there are many people that are MAGA standing up to this. There was a similar instance to the Applebee's at a cheesecake factory in New York City. And they were holding up American flags. Those are MAGA people. So President Trump, so what do you want him to do? Go and refuse to comply? You want him to be lawless? Oh, okay. Well, there you go. She wants Trump to be lawless. Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah. Okay, let him be lawless, and they shut down Trump Tower. That's brilliant. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hi. Can I talk about CRT?
You mean critical race theory? Absolutely.
Yeah. So first of all, CRT is a cancer, and if you don't chop off, kill the. Say that you invite contradictory callers.
Of course.
Yeah. So I just wanted your opinion. Civil war in Syria. It was part of the list of countries that the United States was determined to overthrow right after.
Well, what I was talking about, what I was talking about was this. Okay, what I was talking about wasn't Syria. What I was talking about is this fraud conservative, this fake Republican Liz Cheney, who goes around telling everyone she's the true conservative. Liz Cheney, her family, and everyone in her circle, okay, are war profiteers. They profit off of wars. They profit off of drone strikes. They profit off of lying to the world about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. I was yesterday I was Christmas shopping at the mall with my wife. We were at Yankee Candle. This guy walked by, and he was missing his foot and a big chunk of his leg. He had like a little metal piece below his knee. There you go. You know that's an IED. Oh, and here's this guy hobbling through with only one foot, so that Liz Cheney can sit up here on this committee and act like she's high and mighty, when that guy's missing his foot because of her lying war criminal father. That's what I was talking about.
That's...
And everything that happened in Syria and the rest of the Middle East and the chaos over there is so that Cheney and their friends and family can profit off of death and destruction and misery.
Yeah, Bush Sr. and the Bush family, they sold plant drilling technology to Kuwait.
Yeah.
To drill under the Iraqi border, and that's why they burned all the.
First I've heard that, but I think maybe Michael Moore talked about that in his movie Fahrenheit 9/11. It sounds listen, it took me until Trump came on the scene to realize what low-life creeps the Bush family and the Cheney family were. One of the things that really shocked me about Bush the father is Barbara Bush wrote a book that was published after her death about her husband, President Bush, 41, H.W. He had an affair with a woman that started when he was ambassador to China, that continued his whole life, and he even had his mistress in the White House, working in the White House. I did not know this, and it was really upsetting to me because I remember when G.W. was running for president and Bill Clinton got involved in the campaign, which was unusual at the time for presidents to get involved in presidential campaigns. And H.W. Bush came out into the media and said, if he doesn't get out uninvolved in this race, I'm going to tell the American people how I feel about him as a man. Which meant that H.W. was talking about, the affairs of Bill Clinton. Meanwhile, he had an affair with a woman that was going on then that started in the 1970s. And the source of that is Barbara Bush and this book that she wrote that she did not have published until after she died. So the Bush family are lowlives.
I think most of the people that are in the U.S. government are compromised.
Steve Kane Show. Hey, Ellen. It's not that they're compromised. They're corrupt like Biden. Right? They're corrupt like Biden. They make money, whether it's the Bush, the Cheney family, whether it's Mitch McConnell, whether it's Biden, all of them. They make their money as corrupt public officials who sell the power and influence they have from their office.
myself. I'm a Gulf War veteran, disabled, and I lost 2 companies when Ukraine was overthrown by Biden, President Biden.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, listen, I gotta run for the break, but thanks for the call. All right, well, let's take our break, okay? I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Brian Craig here. You heard Steve Kane talk about the great job Tom Laporta at Laporta.
All right, you'll be next. Hold on.
On his new roof. We have on the line John from Wellington, one of our regular callers. He just had his roof repaired by Laporta Contracting, and he wanted to share his experience.
Thanks to the Steve Kane Show, my roof repairs were just
Steve Kane Show.
by Laporta Contractors. They were fast,
Hold on.
professional, and the cost of the repairs was very reasonable. I've had 4 sections of roof repaired, and upon initial inspection, they were honest and told me that my roof was good and I didn't need a new one. I called many roofers, and they were all scammers. They all wanted to put on a new roof, and they said they wouldn't repair what I had. Thanks, Brian. Another fantastic sponsor.
Wow, that's an amazing testimonial from John in Wellington. Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting will never sell you a roof that you don't need. Give him a call for a no-charge inspection of your roof. 954-604-4602. That number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been here around 3 years. He always has time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number right now.
Steve Kane Show.
954-922.
Oh, hey, Barry. Hold on.
4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right, here we are, a week and a day away from Christmas. It's the holiday season, and there is no greater gift that you can give your family than security by calling the Siegel Law Group and taking care of your estate before it's too late. And on the line from the Siegel Law Group, we have Attorney Barry Siegel. Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm well. You know, we're about a week out from Christmas. I know a lot of people are scrambling to do their last-minute shopping, and what am I going to get for this one and what am I going to get for that one. Of course, the ultimate gift.
Oh, we lost you for a second, Barry, on the cell phone. You said the ultimate gift, and then the line went dead.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
We got you now, Barry.
Okay. The ultimate gift for the people we care about, our people we love, our spouses, our children, grandchildren, is to take care of them and not leave a mess behind, to make sure that we don't leave things up to the state, the rules of intestacy, that's the statute, and make sure that all they have to do is carry out the wishes of the estate plan and just have that peace of mind that everything is all taken care of. And that's really what we would consider the ultimate gift.
Yeah, and you know, I've met so many listeners over the years that are clients of yours, Attorney Barry Siegel, and I tell Barry this, one thing they all have in common is a sense of relief that everything's taken care of. And I've had some, when we're on our cruise, you know, and we're hanging out at the bar and having dinner, and people reveal some things, and I've had a couple of our listeners talk about their adult children have a history of just being a financial wreck, even when they make a good living, and they have things set up in a way so that the kids don't blow the money when they get it. And that's a big relief to a lot of people too. I'm sure you see that all the time.
A lot of people come in with many situations that maybe they're not good with money. Maybe the adult children, God forbid, have a gambling issue or a drug alcohol issue, and it's very important to make sure if we do have these concerns that we address them. Otherwise, if we leave them a lump sum of money, then they could end up blowing it. It could add fuel to the fire. It could, if you're leaving a lot of money to somebody with a drug problem, you don't need to sell out.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And there's a show on CNBC called How Lottery Ruined My Life, and it shows how when people about lottery winners, when people get a windfall of cash, it can be 20,000 or 20 million. People get a windfall of cash, it can be disastrous in a lot of situations. But you know what? A revocable living trust can take care of all of that and make sure everything goes smoothly. Listen, for listeners of the Steve Kane Show, it's a completely free consultation with the Siegel Law Group. So make sure when you call, you tell them you heard them on the radio. And the number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. Attorney Barry Siegel, have a great weekend. We'll talk next week. All right, take care. By the way, Steve will be back on Monday. He's off today, but we're going to be live all the way through Christmas Eve. No days off for us, especially because we got the cruise next month with the listener cruise, which I was shocked. Ian said, this is our 5th cruise we're doing. 5 cruise. This is our 5th cruise. Would have been our 6th, but COVID last year messed up the one last year. All right, I've lost track who's called in first and last and in the middle. I don't know. I'm just taking the calls randomly at this point. Good morning. You're on the radio. What is your name and where are you calling from? Oh, yes.
You know what, Brian? You're a bully. That's what you are.
Oh.
I realize that the way you treat that lady from New Jersey that had a disagreement with Trump, you started questioning about her personal life. What? You don't do that to anyone else. I don't even know what Andrea does for a living. Richie's retired. What does he do with all his time? But with her, how did you?
I ask people all the time what they do for a living. What does Richie do all day? He walks his dog, listens to the radio, and watches the news, and goes on cruises with us. You know what he does? He's living the dream. He's doing whatever the hell he wants to do. He worked hard all his life in a real crap job, being a bus driver, driving. Yeah. Well, good for him. Good for him.
Good for but the way you question that lady, let me hear your thoughts on it. The way you try to get at her, like, what are you doing? What time do you get up? Oh, you're cooking dinner? She said 6 to 8 hours for chili in a crock pot. You obviously never cooked in your life.
Chili is actually the one thing that I make that my wife and daughter ask me to make and eat all the time when I make chili. I am famously known in my family with children. I have I'm not going to give you away my recipe because I'm serious. It's a recipe from my grandmother and my mother. And it's the best chili that you've ever eaten. But I use ground beef in my chili.
Your one sponsor, you say it's the best?
Oh no, nothing's as good as Wings Plus. I can't.
You retract that statement.
It's the second best chili.
Oh, second best.
Wings Plus, of course, has the best of everything.
The way you treated her is reprehensible.
Oh, reprehensible. I'm a bully? How am I a bully?
Because someone that says they disagree with Donald Trump on some matter, you decide to make an ad hominem personal attack.
Not at all.
By the way,
you're asking a lot of questions. Am I allowed to respond? I mean, well, yeah.
Let you take the floor.
Oh well. He's going to let me speak. Oh, how nice. I appreciate it.
You even attacked her like she has man issues, and
obviously.
And she's. Right. Obviously, what gives you that authority to determine that? You are
Well, I have all the authority because, like you, she did what you did, called me. I didn't call her. I don't call you. You guys call me at work. And if you call this show, you know what I'm all about, and you get what you deserve if you call me. All right? When I start calling you and interrogating you, that's a different thing. But you're calling me, you know what I'm all about. The reason, I'll tell you the reason why I questioned her, but why do you think I did it? Before I tell you the real reason.
She disagreed because she disagreed with Trump, therefore you
No.
testing.
No, none of that is true.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's so funny how people think. No, she can call in and trash Trump. I allowed her to do it. I think she's a fake. But here's the, excuse me. What I noticed about her, she's called in at the same time every day, 3 days in a row, with the same call all 3 times. We keep our phone lines open for those that disagree, but no matter who it is, even Richie, if Richie called in the same time every day with the same thing, I'd say, hey, and I've told this to Richie, and if you notice, he spreads his calls around. I said, you can't call in at the same time all the time. You know, you got to spread your calls around on days and times like that so it doesn't become repetitive, boring, and predictable. I was very curious as to why she's called me at 8:12, 8:11 for 3 days in a row, almost on the dot. That's why I was asking her.
Great.
Well, don't start questioning her. You don't want to be a bully, Greg. No. All right, you're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you doing today?
Good. How is this, Wisconsin, Gary? How are you?
Good. Miss Wisconsin would like to say hi since it's cold here. You know, I'm looking out your window there, and I think I'm getting colder sitting in Wisconsin just seeing all.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that will make you not feel too good because, you know, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll show you. I am wearing a T-shirt and shorts. I'm wearing shorts right now, and I'm in the tropics, man. I'm living the dream. I'm in Florida.
Yeah, nice shoes, by the way. But it's like we're watching you on YouTube here, so I mean, it looks like you're almost like coming out of us into TV. But
I don't even know. I have 2 pairs of socks that are dress socks for the cruise. I have a brown pair and a black pair that I only wear on the cruise, and I don't even think I've washed them since the last cruise. I better wash them before the next one. But I don't even wear socks. You got to move to Florida where the weather's perfect. Clewiston. Oh my goodness, Clewiston on Lake Okeechobee. That's the sticks. That's Hicksville. I actually live not far from Clewiston in a town called Okeechobee. Is where my father lives. Now, right around the lake from Clewiston. I've been to Clewiston many times.
By where? Belle Glade.
Oh my gosh, I was in Belle Glade not long ago. I made a YouTube video there, and it was so bad I didn't get out of the car. A friend of mine, when I was a kid, was murdered by 2 illegal Mexicans in Belle Glade. It's a very dangerous place to go.
She says.
Yeah.
Say?
Yeah. Anyway, so what's on your mind other than what's around Lake Okeechobee?
It's funny how Greg, you know, literally kind of attacking you in a way. And, you know, and that's just the liberal way of them doing it. But, I mean, the caller that you had yesterday from New Jersey, I mean, it's like, granted, I think she's a Seminole caller, but I think eventually with everything that you give back with facts and logic, I think she's starting to come around. So, I mean, granted, some of these people are going to either stay liberal or some of them are starting to slowly convert into being a true conservative or whatever, because they're seeing what Biden's not even doing anything right. We went to a store yesterday, and I mean, something that shouldn't even cost over $100 and some dollars ended up being over $330 some dollars. I mean, Biden's inflation is just getting to be ridiculous, and I think a lot of these people are starting to finally realize it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, try to keep warm, Wisconsin, Gary. I got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. All right, take care. All right, now, you guys have been hearing me talk about the incredible, life-changing product the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper is, which is 50% off with the promo code CANE when you click on the radio listener specials at MyPillow.com. It'll change your life. You'll sleep better than you've ever slept in your life. I love my 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. And at 50% off, this is the lowest price ever for the holidays. It makes a great Christmas gift for yourself or for anyone on your Christmas gift-giving list. You can also have the MyPillow mattress topper delivered right to the recipient. Now, yesterday, Andrea called up, and I did not realize this with Andrea. She's had some severe injuries, and for the first time in many years, she's able to sleep the whole night through with the MyPillow mattress topper. She called in yesterday to tell us her story. Here's the call of Andrea yesterday talking about her MyPillow mattress topper. Listen.
You actually have the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper, which is 50% off right now with the promo code Kane at checkout. And you were telling me about your situation and how the MyPillow mattress topper changed your life. Can you tell me about that?
Let me tell you, Brian, I'm literally shocked. I'm normally very skeptical when I buy things. So I have 6 MyPillows, and then I bought the mattress topper. So about 5 years ago,
Oh, my shoes? Oh, yeah, I'll show you my shoes. I wear Vans all the time. These are my Vans. And these are actually, yeah. This is what I always wear, Vans.
It severed my bicep, part of my tricep.
If I'm not wearing my slippers, I'm wearing Vans. Yeah.
Like there's a fine skin that goes all the way.
I wouldn't say cute shoes. Guys don't wear cute shoes. We wear cool shoes.
So my right shoulder is loaded with pins and screws, and so is my right elbow.
Steve Kane Show.
And I can't really
Hold on.
sleep.
Steve Kane Show.
Down. So it's hard for me to sleep.
Steve Kane Show.
First time in probably 5 years. The first night I got it, I actually slept so well. I slept through boot camp and
Be right back, guys.
clients. Like it's so supportive and so comfortable, and it eases the pain that I have. I'm actually sleeping longer deep sleep durations, which is imperative for your health.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, these are Steve's slippers. I'm seeing Steve today to give it. These are Steve's MyPillow slippers.
If you go to mypillow.com,
I'm going to give them to him today, finally.
You can get the very same mattress
They're brand new.
that I sleep on, the one that Andrea is talking about.
It's the same pair I have at home.
Topper, the thickest mattress topper that Mike Lindell and MyPillow offer for 50% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 800-716-4879, 800-716-4879, promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. Yeah, that's amazing, and I'm glad we can help you out with that, and I'm sure it's been a big change in your life.
It's shocking. It's literally
Well, you can't have, about the caller, you can't have somebody call in at the same time every day with the same thing. You can't do that.
Wow, that's amazing. Hear that?
You got to have some quality control with the show.
She's gotten in 5 years with the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper. 50% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. And again, you can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. Comes in every mattress size there is, and it comes in a box that's perfect to wrap and put under the tree. You can also send it to the recipient of the gift if you're sending it out for a Christmas gift. But as you can hear with Andrea, it makes a great gift for yourself as well. Wow, that's an amazing story.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel.
They're 40% off. I don't know what the exact price is, but they're 40% off with our promo code Kane, the slippers.
Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just think.
All right, we have a full board of calls. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I'm taking all of these randomly. I don't know who is on any of these lines. Good morning, you're on the radio. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Dave from Huntington Beach, and actually also now just arrived in Naples, in Florida, just west of you.
Oh, yeah. You're on the Gulf Coast, yes.
Yeah, I'm staying out here, and but I'm coming up to the Treasure Coast because I've got some friends that moved up there.
When I first moved to Florida, I went to school with this kid, and his parents used to. I went to school with kids. Yeah, when I first moved to Florida, it's amazing. They actually have kids in the schools. But this one kid I went to school with, his parents went to Naples every weekend, and I was new to Florida. I didn't know there was a Naples, Florida. I thought they went to Italy every weekend. I really did. I thought, wow, they must be rich.
A lot of those people over there. Anyway, going up to the Treasure Coast, I can't believe I've got people in Palm Beach County, and that's starting to turn incredibly blue. I don't believe it, but at any rate. But friends are pretty happy with, St. Lucie County and Martin County and stuff like that all up there. So we're going to take a look at some places in Quebec.
Well, let me tell you something. The Stuart, Florida, which is in Martin County, which is the county immediately north of Palm Beach County. Stuart, Florida is the most MAGA city in Florida. And my father-in-law lives there. I've spent a lot of time there, in Stuart, Florida. I was just there last weekend with my wife. It is the most MAGA town maybe in America, Stuart, Florida. And it's beautiful, too, and it's not far from Palm Beach. It's the county just north of Palm Beach County. It's in Martin County. Oh, yeah.
Start with, hometown, which actually reminds me of Huntington Beach 50 years ago before it became...
Yeah, it's MAGA country. But what's on your mind? Why'd you call me today?
Well, I was kind of just making an overall comment on, I had somebody back into the rear door of my car and push it forward into the front door. Anyways, and I just got a call from the body shop the other day. They go, oh, we have a problem. Your car probably isn't going to be ready until the 6th of January. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm glad that they're putting in a new door instead of a boneyard one. But they go, well, it's back ordered from Stuttgart because, well, yeah, I know, I was shipping stuff coming into L.A. And you know what? You know the old adage about how many questions, whatever people it takes to change a light bulb? How many people have to go ahead and feed Mayor Pete and his partner's new baby 24/7? He can't get off the phone and get something going and change all of those ridiculous laws and everything.
Well, the thing about Mayor Pete, Secretary of Transportation is, do you know why he's Secretary of Transportation? I do. But a gift, yes. Okay, yeah. Secretary of Transportation, except in rare instances, has nothing to do. It's a cabinet position of nothing. It's a nothing to. Now there's a supply chain crisis now. We've got this incompetent nincompoop, But as the transportation secretary, there's something to do now. But that's a cabinet post that takes zero qualifications, that they have nothing to do, and they give it to someone in exchange for their endorsement. And Mayor Pete came out and endorsed Biden and everything else, so they threw him this bone. So he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I mean, he was the mayor of a city that had 100,000 people in it. That's a tiny little town. There's more people than that in housing development. There's buildings in New York City that have more people in them than in South Bend. You know what I mean? And he doesn't know squat.
South Bend has no industry, and it all went to China.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
listen, welcome to the show, and thanks for the call. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Scott and Kiev. How you doing?
Hey, Scott. What's up?
Yeah, funny enough, I used to play rugby in Missouri when I went to college there, and I played up in Okoboji a couple times. Pretty cool little place there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No
idea what he's talking
about. I'm watching on YouTube. So right before Barry Siegel called, you had a guy called in, and he was talking about Syria and some other stuff. And then right at the end of the conversation, he said he had a couple of businesses that he lost in Ukraine right before Biden sold the country out, and then his mic cut off. What else did he say? Do you remember?
No, I was late for the break and had to go for the break. But that guy, he's an operator.
Yeah, he called as Dave from Crimea.
Yes.
He's not.
I mean, I could if I wanted to, I could find out. I have the ability to find out. I don't care enough to find out. But yeah, I think he's the Russian operator that called last week. Yes.
Yeah. So okay, you think okay? Yeah, because
I think he calls. I think he calls this show to spread Russia misinformation.
Absolutely. When you and Steve were talking, you asked him, what are you doing there? And he said, I'm retired military.
Yeah, no, I believe it was the same guy, and I think he's retired military, all right, the Soviet Army. I think he's one of those. I think he's one of those Russian agents that has an American accent. It's like been trained.
Specifically, you pressed him on it. You said, no, I didn't ask that. I asked what you doing there.
Mm-hmm.
He was there in an official class.
Yeah.
So he would have some kind of
Yeah. But that's not why I let him go. I let him go because I'm very late on my break schedule. That's why I let him go.
That's the second guy I've heard call your show.
Listen, this show is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida, on the radio since 1977. My podcast that I do separate from this was named the #3 must-listen-to conservative podcast in America. #1 was Mark Levin, #2 was The Blaze, #3 me. So people know about this show. That's between the KGB guy and the seminar callers. It's we're on the radar.
They know you got an audience, and they know that's a way they can spread their disinformation.
Well, I don't think people are very successful by spreading disinformation. I know they attempt to spread disinformation, but I think we do a pretty good job of stopping that.
I got to tell you, anytime I hear one of those guys call from Crimea, I'm going to call afterwards and call them out.
You're welcome to do that. CIA versus KGB, good max. All right, good morning. You're on the radio.
Hello?
Yes?
Am I on?
You're on. You're on the air.
Okay, this is Carol from Boca Raton.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
My girlfriend, yesterday, because I just heard Gateway Pundit, I never heard of it before, and she sent me the name of the guy who started the insurrection. His name is Ray S.
Yes.
S. And did you guys already know that?
Hey, hold on. Yeah. Well, Tucker Carlson's even done some work on him. Yes.
From D.C. She said, guess what?
Oh my goodness. Oh, hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Thanks for the call. All right, there's only one opening on the board. We're ending the week with some busy phones, so we're going to take our break for the Gold Report and check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated, and then after that we'll be back to our busy phones. But let's first find out how the metals are doing. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. I can tell by the tone that the metals must be looking really good today.
Metals are looking great, yes, indeed. After an attempt to run them lower and key reversal being put in this week, as gold got down to 1755 and then reversed and closed up on the day. 2 days ago, we saw a continued rally yesterday as gold rallied $22 to close right under that $1,800 resistance area at $1,799.30. Silver was up 14 cents yesterday, closing at $22.47. Platinum was up $21 at $937. And palladium, which has been the big loser for the last couple of weeks, gained $134 yesterday at $1,669 the ounce. This morning we see the rally continue and blowing right through that $1,800 resistance number, getting up to $1,817 this morning. Right now trading at $1,809. That's up $9.70. Silver back over $22 nicely, $22.55, up 9 cents. Platinum is up $4 at $9.41. And palladium gaining another $51 at $1,720 the ounce. So good day for the precious, rising precious metals is certainly all intact, with the oil prices rising, with the stock market coming off and falling for the last couple of days, and interest rates very low. The 10-year bond back under 1.4%, and things around the world just looking like, they're very inflationary. Turkey, the value of the Turkish lira falling dramatically under bad political reigns with inflation in Turkey over 20%. So things around the world looking very, very, very promising for a higher metals price.
Well, and every second that clock ticks, your dollar's worth less. I mean, that's and it's getting really bad these days. Now, let me ask you though, gold, I know we're not big into predictions and numbers, but in 2022, gold is really looking to take off like mad. Oh, man, yeah, so this is the time. Now, listen, William Youngerman opens up weekdays at 10, and no matter where you are in America or the world, you can call William Youngerman and do business with him. They ship all of the metals everywhere, or you can stop right in and walk out with your metals as well. The number over there, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. Looking good, and don't forget, you can also stop in and sell your metals over there as well. All right, William Youngerman, have a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday. All right, take care, take care. All right, back to our phones. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, this is Doc G. Yeah.
This is who? Who is this? Fauci? Doc G. I thought you said this is Fauci.
No, God knows, please.
What kind of doc are you? What kind of doc are you? Like where you tie up a boat? Where you load and unload a truck? What kind of doc are you?
Very good. I'm actually a retired chiropractor.
Oh, okay. So some doctors don't like being called doc. I call.
It's just a moniker that I've actually probably had over the last 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just go with it just in case people recognize.
Okay, all right. So what's on your mind?
So the reason I called is because you brought up Pete Buttigieg and the transportation. You said what he was all about, and what I wanted to mention was that I have been following the United States high-speed rail.com. I've been following that for the last 6-7 years, and I noticed there was an article that was written by some Indian guy. I'm actually come up with his name here.
When you mean Indian, you mean like Gandhi. You don't mean like a Native American Cherokee?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And this guy was, he's an extreme leftist. His name is Parag Khanna. Wrote on that, and he wrote on the United States high-speed rail something called the NewsMax for America, and it was a scary globalist plan where they plan on taking away the states and dividing it in sections.
Yeah, it's a big, the railroad's like everything else. It's a big government scam. I've been on trains before. I really don't care. Where do you live?
Nashville.
Oh, you're in Nashville. You're not in Florida. I've been on Amtrak a few times. It smells like pee. It's no fun, and it stops every 10 minutes. And plus all the moving and the shaking. In fact, I remember, he'd probably be shocked that I remember this, but Saturdays at 11 on our radio station, my therapist, Steve Kane's therapist, Dr. Lemaski, co-host a show with Al Knight, 11 a.m. Saturdays on our radio stations. And I remember Al Knight, he probably doesn't even remember this, but he went to Washington by train. This was in the early 90s. I'm pretty sure it was you, Al Knight, and it was such a miserable experience. He had a round-trip ticket. He paid for a plane ticket to fly back and tossed his Amtrak ticket. The train's miserable, and we have a train system they put here in Florida that's supposed to be high-speed transportation. It's called the Bright Line. It's killed almost as many people running them over as Ted Bundy did in Florida. Every time I see it in the news, it's killed somebody else.
Point was that he's there. He's there, and he's covering up mistakes that were left behind that maybe the Trump administration didn't recognize. And I noticed that things are being covered up, and one of the things that was being covered up was the case of the Supreme Court case in October 2018, Ed Poitevin versus.
Yeah, what's that about?
And what it was really called was the Dusky Gopher fraud.
I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm getting bored. You seem like a good guy. Welcome to the show. Call again, but that pretty boring topics there. We're approaching the end of the show. Everyone who's called today, Thank you so much for your participation. And it's been a pretty good week. And we're going to be here live with you. Steve will be back on Monday. We're going to be here live with you all the way through Christmas Eve. Christmas is on Saturday, but we'll be here live all next week. All of you are certainly invited to join us next week. And, you know, this is a very strange, very odd period in news. You know, usually this time of year, this is a difficult job. And it's a difficult job because it's when you really got to work, because the news is thin around holiday time. You know, and I don't say holiday in the liberal taking Jesus out of Christmas thing. You know, you got Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, all that stuff is what I mean. But the news is hot right now. There's so much going on. In fact, I have just scratched the surface with the stories I had today. I haven't even gotten all my stuff that I had for this morning. But it's a very, very busy news time. And the reason it's a busy news time is not only because we have a corrupt, tired, old, senile coot in the White House right now, President Biden, but it's because the establishment and the media are in a complete panic over Donald Trump. They're in a complete panic over Donald Trump. You know, the poll numbers you see on television about Biden, they have the real polls that show the real numbers. And the polls have them panicked because the Biden and Kamala's poll numbers are worse than we're seeing. And Trump's poll numbers are through the roof. And they're in a complete panic. And the news is buzzing so much because, you know, the worst time to take action and make decisions and do anything is when you're in a state of panic. Panic is anxiety. You don't want to do anything when you're in a panic mode. But when you're in an anxiety state, you're out of control. The media, the Republican establishment, and the Democrats are completely out of control with their Trump derangement syndrome. And that's one of the reasons it's such a hot news time. So next week is going to be a cakewalk here on the Steve Kane Show because there's so much news blowing up all the time. But I do want to say something in closing because I began the show in the first segment about this. And it involves the seminar callers and what's going on in the media. Because Jonah Goldberg has come out of his rat's nest. Remember that hole in the ground where Saddam Hussein was found with that cooler top overhead when he was hiding? That's where the never-Trumpers live. They live in these little rat holes with these cooler tops, and they come out every once in a while out of their holes. Jonah Goldberg is over there saying that Fox News has a bunch of people over there that don't like Trump and only pretend to on television. I don't know about that. I think they've gotten rid of a lot of that. I mean, I know we got Cavuto and Martha McCallum, but it's not mainstream over in Fox like he wants you to believe. And what I was talking, I don't have time to go through it now because we're at the end of the show, but I talked about it in detail at the beginning of the show at 6 a.m. The Democrats know they can't win with Biden or Harris. They're done. They're done. They know that Republicans are going to win in 2024. They know this. What they're trying to do is convince us that Republicans don't want Trump, which is a lie. They're going to try to push upon us like they did with McCain. They're going to and Romney. They're going to try to push upon us some fake MAGA, some never-Trumper Republican that we'll vote for that'll do deals with the Democrats. Now, if you listen to the overnight rebroadcast, you can listen to my whole very detailed analysis of what's going on that. But that's what's going on here. And that's why the seminar callers are after us. That's why Jonah Goldberg is out there slandering Trump and others, you know, because they want to they want to try to convince us that Trump is not electable. And we need to vote for Republican X, whoever that is. And whoever that Republican turns out to be will be someone that'll do deals with the Democrats so they can get all their crap through that Biden is wrecking for them. So don't believe any of that. All right, now listen, we're all out of time for today, but we will be back Monday morning live at 6 a.m. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. My name is Brian Craig, and we'll see you Monday morning at 6 a.m. Until then, take care. Have a great weekend.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing.
Well, hey guys, thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure that you like the video before you go, and if you're new, subscribe, all right? I'll see you guys next time. Take care.